Ahoy, landlubbers, it's me, your Captain Vasco speaking. And I welcome you to this particular Friday. It will forever be known as Friday, October 21st in the year 2022. We are approaching the end of our playthrough of 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors, and by the end of this, I'll remember the order of those 3 words that follow the word 9. Last week, we did our sort of formal presentation of all the things that lead up to the good end. And this was something of a demonstration as to like what that looks like, and we went back through more or less the major cutscenes, and part of that process was getting to know how the flowchart works in this game. There's certain things about it that are intuitive, there are certain things about it that are definitely not intuitive. I'm hoping that our experience from last week will make it a little more efficient to go through this week, but in addition, since we're not like replaying those major cutscenes, we should be able to like power through future replays pretty quickly. I can see here on this screen that I still have skip text on. That didn't reset itself. Which I didn't have any particular reason to think that it was going to do that, but it's a useful feature and it is off by default, and you have to like basically restart the game to set it again. Listen, the original Nonary games, they're not perfect. I love them a great deal. They're not perfect. The Nonary games remaster is pretty good. I would say that overall it's definitely an improvement. I certainly like the addition of the voice acting to 999. That could go either way, but they did a really good job, in my opinion. I'm really happy with all of the casting and everything. It's all very good. There are very few individual lines that feel weird, and they seem to me to be within the margin of error of not, just like a normal production on the scale. So we have 3 endings left to get, unless, my absolute and utter lack of brain power has forgotten something, which I don't think is possible, but we're gonna figure that out, by the save screen, so we'll make that clear. There's one lesson I've already learned about the flowchart and how it works, which is we ended not last week's stream, but the previous week's stream, after getting the knife ending, if I remember correctly. That should be the order of operations. We got the knife ending, and then I saved the game, and then I closed the thing because we ended the stream and I wasn't playing anymore. And when I ended that stream, the game had sort of bumped me out to the flowchart and had remembered all the pads I'd taken. And if it had done that, it would have changed the way that we would have done last week's stream. But when I went to load that game, it had like blank flowchart, which means you'd have to set all of the flags for it to find what you want it to do. So like it was going to be a lot of work regardless, and it led to a poll, and then I just like couldn't solve any puzzles because I was so tired. And it was very embarrassing, and I didn't like it. And that's probably going to happen tonight too. I'm just saying that now because it's probably true. And we have to go to a particular room that I remember usually giving me some trouble. So like that's going to be a lot of fun for Vasco. But the point that I was actually trying to make in that runaway train car of a sentence is that because I learned that it does that after last week's stream when we got the coffin ending? Yeah, the coffin ending. Pretty much the same thing happened, but before I closed the software, I chose a spot on the flowchart and then saved there to keep all of the flags intact. I don't know for sure that that worked, but I sure think and hope it did. The reason it's important to mention this up front is because what I did was I went back and changed one of the critical flags that directs you. It might be easier to be looking at the flowchart when I talk about this, even though it's not that complicated. Continue. Yeah, this one has coffin. This should be the right one, probably.
That's the next door. Wait, a piece of paper.
Ooh, a piece of paper. Yeah, but see, so like it's good. It's running sounds perfect. I wanted some background running sounds to make it clear that we were playing a Zero Escape game. So yeah, what I did was, you know, after we finished that, like all of the flags from last week's stream were intact. We went through the number 4 door and then the number 7 door, and we had all the conversations where we like got a 4-leaf clover and we gave a 4-leaf clover and we talked about Ice 9 and how super pretty that mummy is. But then after the stream, I went back and all I did was I went back to room 7 and I didn't give Clover the bookmark. And then I skipped ahead to after finishing room 1. This is all important because that gives you an entirely different ending.
This is... map of the ship's interior for A-Deck.
So where we are right now is that we've just left the number 1 room after spending like 40 U.S. Imperial years solving the not hexadecimal puzzle that like I should be able to do in my sleep, but in practice, while actually unconscious, was a real struggle for me. So we've completed that, and we're like leaving, and we're gonna go talk to everyone about how excited we are to have gone through a numbered door, because that's pretty much what we do around here. And you may remember that last time we left this room, and we're on track for the coffin ending. We had a little interaction with Clover in the hallway, and it was a little weird, and we didn't get like a lot of information about exactly why that is or what that meant. And I think pretty much the same thing will happen here, but I just want to draw your attention to that in case I've somehow saved after that, which I don't think I did. But it's relevant. Oh, we're walking again.
What's wrong?
I found a map for this floor.
I see.
And he's gone.
Well, that was anticlimactic.
I mean, in fairness, I don't think that the maps are truly as exciting as Uchikoshi thinks they are in this game. Like the thing about the maps in 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors is that the maps contain information that would be interesting if learned before you get the maps. Like, the maps typically tell you that, like, you're gonna meet up with the other team, more or less. But, like, usually you get the map, like, after you care. So, like, the maps are, like, never a particularly interesting moment to me in this game. I've always found that kind of weird. But I feel like this just demonstrates that Ace is an individual of culture who may not need a map to get to Bone Town.
I should keep this, though. Hey, where's Clover? Damn it, what the hell is she up to?
Let's go check on her. Hi, Clover. I like that we waited to scream until we're standing right next to her. Hey, Clover! Literally right here. Okay, thanks.
What the hell are you doing?
Nothing.
What do you mean,
I don't
nothing?
need a map to get to Bone Town.
I don't need a map to get to Bone Town, and neither does Ace. He saw that map and he's like, please, son, I know how to get to Bone Town. Okay, thanks, bye.
What the hell is that?
I want to believe that she simply stuffed alternate voting answers into her pockets for all future scenarios, although at this point in the story, we've dealt with all of the numbered doors 1 through 8. I think that's true.
What?
You've got something in your pocket. What is it?
It might be a banana. Ask her if it's a banana.
Oh, this? This is... I wonder.
What the hell?
Come on, we gotta hurry.
Huh? Clover, what's that on your back? A stick? Hey, Clover! What the hell's that thing on your back?
This is dialogue we didn't get before.
Is she ignoring me? For crying out loud.
This is familiar, though.
Huh. So this is where it ends up.
It's the particular view of the Titanic staircase from this corner where that hallway lets out.
Just like it says on the map. Ace, did he head down? Oh, there he is.
Look, the 4 others are there too.
Really?
Let's join them.
Sounds great. Let's all be friends together.
Clover,
What's up?
we found it.
Found what?
The way out of the room? You found it?
We found it.
What did you find?
The last door! We found door 9!
We found the ability to use pronouns in a completely unhelpful manner. We found it!
What?
Come on, just follow us. We'll explain on the way.
Also, considering that we know at this point that they found multiple number 9 doors, it feels especially weird to say that we found it, and not them, although that would be even less helpful. One might simply say, we found the number 9 doors, and then you could be like, doors? And then she's like, let's make a series of simultaneous footsteps noises instead of talking like adults.
Okay.
Which is our answer to
That's the
everything.
case.
Wait for me.
We should get going as well.
Jumpy! We finally made it!
There's so much unnecessary dialogue here. We should get going as well. We all could just start walking.
Yeah, it's finally time. We've reached the end. But something's bothering me. Only 3 to 5 people can go through the numbered door. 7 of us are on our way to door 9. That means that, best case scenario, there will be 2 of us who have to stay behind. 2 people. Is there a way? 4:30. We've only got 90 minutes left. I've got no time to wonder about it now.
What's worse is that we already missed our opportunity to blaze it, like the meme says to do.
Hey, Junpei! June! What the hell are you two doing? Hurry it up!
Let's go, Jumpy!
Yeah.
Hey, what about door 2?
You know, it's funny, when I said before, I feel like we've dealt with all the doors 1 through 8. I do believe that 2 is the exception, the way it pans out if you go 4, 7, 1. Also, hey, Angelic Dirt. Talking is a free action, you know this. I do know this, you're not wrong. But at the same time, that the fact that you can freely do it doesn't necessarily mean that you should do. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Which is probably a lesson that Uchikoshi should have learned earlier. Now, it hasn't stopped me from playing literally any game that's come out that he's made since 999, but it doesn't always help. But this is a question. What about door 2? Now, from our previous excursions, we know what's behind door 2, sort of, more or less. I mean, there's the torture room, where no one gets tortured, but then when you leave the torture room, everyone's dead and there's a submarine.
What about door 2?
There's nothing particularly remarkable about that line read, but I really appreciate it. It's very curt and to the point, and I feel like it accurately reflects the mental attitude of these characters at this point. We have been looking for a number 9 door to get out of this place for, 7.5 hours or something. What about door 2?
Door 2 is the only one we haven't gone through it, I mean.
Yes, that is true.
That is true. Also, who cares?
Are you guys okay with that? Not investigating it, I mean?
Not going through door 2. Is that really okay? I guess it can't be helped.
So what? We found door 9. We don't need any of the other doors.
What's the point? Huh? What's the point in going to door 9? We can't all go through it, right? And we should do what we have to do before we go any further.
This is weird because there's like half of the people who are in this conversation know that there are 2 number 9 doors and that we could, at least in theory, leave. Oh, hey, Sarah, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Welcome to Friday, those just joining us. You're here in time. You're here in time. You'll know what that means not too long from now.
It's like a jigsaw puzzle. The best way to finish it quickly is to do the border pieces first.
But it's not. It's explicitly not like a jigsaw puzzle in that it is a different game that has different rules. Very, very sleepy sheep over there. It's very... It's been another week over here.
You know? Or what? You think all 7 of us should go to door 9? And then we argue over who stays behind and who gets to go?
Yeah, we're on our way to some 9s. There's gonna be some 9s.
Do we really want to do that again?
Man, Clover is like me on a bad day, huh? Clover's just like, nothing has any purpose, but also your interpretation of everything is wrong and you should feel ridiculous.
Who knows? If we check out door 2, maybe we'll find something.
Like a burlap sack with a dollar sign on it?
Maybe we can find a way to get all of us out. Huh. I don't know what might be in there. We may not find anything. But don't you think it'd be better to at least have a look?
There could be anything, even a boat. Particularly because we're already on a boat, and lifeboats are a thing that we could find. And also particularly because somewhere in that vicinity there's a submarine, and we know this.
I mean, am I wrong? Does that sound wrong to you guys?
I mean, it should sound wrong to some people who know that we could just leave.
Yeah, you do have a point. The last time I checked the clock, it was 4:30. It's not like we've got a lot of time, but if we're quick about it, we might have time to take a look.
But like, I don't, like genuinely, like not even applying the knowledge. I mean, I don't think you could say that because we're where we are at in this playthrough. We know that the people who went to door 6 found the chapel with 2 number 9 doors in it, and like if you do that absurd quick math that this game loves so much, then you would know that all of the remaining people could get out that way, and it's totally fine. But like for some reason those people aren't saying anything. But like the argument that it's like 4:30 and we have until 6 a.m. before our 9-hour time limit elapses. And we're like, yeah, like we might as well solve like a whole other puzzle room, which canonically seemed to take something like 40 minutes to an hour, I think, roughly speaking. So like, yeah, do you really want to cut it so close that you have like less than a half hour to go through that door in case there's like, I don't know, like maybe you have to wait for like a passing ship to pick you up? Because like, what are you going to do when you get off this boat? Like, it just seems weird to be like, yeah, we don't need any additional time. We could just, like, mess around and go into door 2 and, like, hope something cool happens. And, like, it's fine if we drown because there's no express purpose to doing that.
You're right. Let's go take a look at door 2.
The elevator can take us down to door 2.
Who shall go then?
Let's see.
Me. I'm going.
Then June, 7, and I need to go with her.
Hey, why do you get to...
I don't mind. We'd only waste time arguing over it.
Jumpy, I'm okay too.
See?
Can we just
See,
go?
everyone's fine. Stop worrying.
Fine.
All right, let's get going.
I'll see you later.
Okay. Be careful.
I'll be back. I never get tired of that animation. It's very much like something you would see in the game Mist.
Lotus, would you be so kind as to go with me?
You asking her on a date, Ace?
Go with you? Well, I didn't think people still talked that way outside of the 1950s.
Are we going to go steady?
Well, I'm a mother. Would that be a problem for you?
That wasn't what I meant to. I was hoping you would come with me.
Seriously, though. I was kidding.
Unless you're, like, rich or something.
So, where was it you wanted to take me?
There's something I wanted to show you.
Okay, now I'm confused again. Are we talking about, like, dating or something illicit?
Hey man, what the hell? I'm not important enough?
Well, it's not like that.
You see, 2's company, but 3's a crowd, Junpei.
Once I've shown Lotus, I'll show you.
Really?
Wait, now I'm not sure I want to.
Of course.
Fine. Do whatever you want.
Thanks, Junpei. Are you coming, Lotus?
Fine. Doesn't look like they're going to be back anytime soon. I might as well go and see whatever it is you think is so important.
Thank you.
He swings like that. I guess. I mean, he's like a one person at a time kind of. He's like not into like a group situation, but like he goes both ways.
Well then, shall we go?
He prefers the housework to be done by 2 people, if you catch my meaning.
They're so slow.
Which is like a weird sentence.
What's keeping Ace and Lotus?
He is Ace. You're not wrong about that. He is Ace.
Clover. I guess you're the first one back.
Wow, that's the shortest numbered door room ever. It didn't even really imply much time passed. Did they just, like, knock and see? I mean, there's literally a vacant or occupied sign on it. Was someone in there using the restroom and not washing their hands?
Where's everybody else? What happened?
Where are Ace and Lotus?
Hmm? Oh, Ace said he wanted to show Lotus something, so they went into that hallway.
Oh, then they went over there?
Yeah, they're over there. That's fine, right?
Yeah, I think so. So where are June, Santa, and Seven? Why aren't they with you?
You really want to know?
Yeah, I mean, we're all gonna go to, like, the number 9 door.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Here, let me show you.
Huh? Bracelets. Oh my god. Oh, holy shit.
These clash terribly with your outfit. Why do you even have these?
No. No way. This has got to be some kind of joke. This can't be real. 3, 7, 6.
Lastly, let us discuss how to remove the bracelets. There are only 2 ways to do so.
You know, her carrying Snake's head definitely seems in character, except for the fact that Snake is her brother, and also that he is currently a can of ragu behind the number 3 door.
1. You escape from this ship. 2. Your heart rate reaches 0. In other words, once the bracelet is taken outside the confines of the ship, or the paraxatic mirror's heartbeat has fallen to 0, it will shut down automatically.
This really strikes me as some... I mean, I know I've talked about this before. We talked about this during Nirvana Initiative, where Uchikoshi made, like, a similar choice about a character using, like, a voice modulator, but, like, it sure feels like someone could have listened to this before we did, like, the final edit of the game for release. It's just, like, sonically unpleasant, and also, like, not particularly legible. Audible doesn't seem like quite the right word, and neither is legible, but, you know, the audible legible thing.
But why?
Revenge for my brother.
This revenge in brackets. It was probably always like that. I certainly don't recall. But why? Normally in this game, the only things in brackets are, like, important numbers and, like, tutorial things.
He was forced into door 3 and murdered. You need at least 3 people to open a door. Who were the 2 that opened that door with him? It could only have been Santa and 7.
We did a whole thing last week where we, like, talked this out using a piece of paper and some absurd quick math.
That's why I killed them.
But why? Why did you kill June?
Well, she was a witness, and also I don't think she probably was super chill with that, to be honest with you.
Because she tried to protect them. She was in my way. She had to die, too.
That's very, chill of you, Clover.
No.
I really want to emphasize in this moment, and we'll talk about this again in another moment, probably, but literally, the difference between the ending that we got at the end of last week's stream, where we made it to the room with the 2 number 9 doors, and, like, needed to find some assistance to get a solution to not being trapped on this boat forever. But, like, mostly everyone was fine, and, like, Clover was our ally. And this was giving her a bookmark. In this reality, we did not give her a bookmark with a 4-leaf clover on it. And she killed several people with an axe, and then showed it off to us.
No. No.
Hey, Junpei. Let's go.
I didn't think people still talked like that outside of the 1950s. No, are we not still doing that? Okay.
Let's get out of here. Let's leave this ship.
What the hell are you talking about?
We have, like, so many bracelets. We could probably do whatever we want.
To open a numbered door,
Yes, I know. You need at least 3 people.
Is that really true?
But as long as we have this...
what's that on her face? Smallpox? Or, beauty marks? Or... they might be the holes you put your fingers in to go bowling. It might be that.
That's...
Her kills. They're like teardrops. She put them on with the whiteout that was probably with her, like, intro to the nonary games kit in her first room.
The Zero bracelet. You've got something in your pocket. What is it?
Oh, this? This is... See? You get it now? If we have the Zero bracelet, we can leave. You and I can open door 9 with just the two of us. See? So let's go. Come on. Hurry up. Junpei. Junpei.
Clover.
Yeah?
Oh. Oh, that's not great. I don't think that's what we wanted to happen.
Thanks, Junpei. I'm just gonna borrow this, okay?
You know, you don't usually get a full body shot of Clover in this game, so I forgot that she was wearing heels, which is weird because she's like... I want to say canonically she's like 15 or something, but like also she's depicted as being quite short in comparison to everyone while wearing heels, which is a little weird. Now, this is, you might guess, this is the axe ending. The axe ending is the very first ending to this game that I ever saw, and what's interesting about it is, it's very different from the other endings we've gotten so far. So, the most recent one that we got, the coffin ending, is a little weird in that it's like it's a partial ending. It's sort of like a checkpoint to see whether you've met the criteria to finish the game, which we have not done. But the other endings, the submarine and the knife, that are somewhat similar to this one, they're both a lot more gradual and, like, thriller/chilling in style, where it's like there's all this poetic discussion of slowly dying, and in axe ending she's like, "Hey Junpei, I killed most of the people, you know, and now I'm going to kill you." And then you die, and she has like a cute flourish with her murder axe, and then she leaves. So like it's a little weird in that respect, but it's I don't know. It's interesting to me in that it is the first ending that I ever saw to this game. So now we're back here to the flowchart. We have 2 things to do, and now that I don't think we have any particular cutscenes that we need to show off doing this route, and we've already done all the ones leading up to the final route, so I think that we can kind of just like power skip through a lot from here, which is why I feel like there's a non-zero chance that we finish this game tonight. But in order to make progress, we need to basically make all of the opposite choices to what we've done. It's not quite as straightforward as that, but if you consider that among the numbered doors 1 through 8, both 3 and 2 are basically traps that don't lead anywhere but the submarine. It does sort of lead you with like 2 primary paths. You can like interweave them. But basically the way the game works is that if you ever choose the number 1 door and you're not ready to go to the final end of the game, then you get axed to death because she gets the axe from within the number 1 room where you find the corpse of the guy in the captain's coat who is presumed 0, but like also non-zero. I think essentially, actually no, there must be some. What is the gate here? Is it if you haven't chosen the right doors up till now, it locks? I should probably be aware of this before this point in time, but we're gonna start by returning to the past and setting all our door choices to where they need to be, and then we're gonna micromanage our existence. So let's go back to... oh my god. Could the Nonary games flowchart be better? Yes. Yes, it could. I will not pretend that that is not the case. Alright, let's go to full auto. Non-zero, would I say a 9 chance? I would say roughly a 9 chance. That's probably true. Yeah, 4, that's fine. 4's a good number. So what we need to do is we need to go through 5, and then 8, and then 6. I think that's right, off the top of my head. I have this written down, don't I? Yeah, 5, 8, 6. Good. Glad I have that written down. So I decided that it had to be door 5, 8, 6. We've already seen this dialogue. Like, literally, we're just like, alright, I guess we'll swap teams then, so, like, some people will switch so that the numbers make sense. And then we go through first, and then they're like, did you not explode? And we're like, yes. And then we go to the first-class cabins, and we do that puzzle with the bathwater and the fireplace, and Vasco's not good at music. I'll let it run long enough that I feel confident it's transitioned into puzzle room, and then we'll skip ahead because the flowchart should allow us to do that, I think. Still getting the hang of it. I assure you, I will manage to find a way to embarrass myself before we complete this game. Don't worry about that at all. There it is. Seek away out. Oh my god, I'm like so good at Seek a Way Out. I moved all the things around. So, I don't have to care about anything here, but I do have to care about something here. I think that's just which room I go to. That should be what this is, yeah. 3, 7, and 8. Oh my god, I found a way out so fast, you have no idea.
Well, we really don't have a choice now.
Like, you didn't even see it. It's unbelievable how fast. So now we're just like, oh man, we all ended up in the same place. And, like, Lord Gordain bought, like, a whole ship. It's crazy. Actually, we're past that point. At this point, I guess Ace has already rendered himself unconscious and labeled himself Sacrifice. Because nobody needs a map to get back to the same room that they started in. So... I don't want 7, I instead want 8. And of course, 8 means that we're going through a door with Clover and Lotus. And if we played this one out, we would get everyone's favorite, like, 10 minutes of keyboard noises. It's pretty impressive
I don't need a map to get to Bone
that
Town.
not only does, like, Lotus have the knowledge of computers to like, implement the hacking solution to that non-puzzle, but that she's really able to keep up the pace of typing that quickly and constantly while carrying on a ridiculous conversation with Junpei about the nature of brain. Although one could also argue that that amount of typing doesn't actually indicate any amount of accuracy. Maybe she's typing a few lines of code and just, like, spamming and deleting stuff because she's, like, not actually paying attention. I'm doing the same thing as before. I'm just gonna let it get to this screen where it makes the cool noise. And then it tells us to seek a way out. Alright, and so we've already done this one. I refer you to earlier installments on YouTube if you'd like to see them. So back to the flowchart. Okay, so these are cleared. Don't know why there's multiple keys here. I really don't know what that means. I hope that that's not a problem. So now let's go to the 1, 6, and 2 doors. Yeah,
All right, 7 pieces.
I warned last week that we were doing, like, all of the recap cutscenes and that we weren't going to go back to them, and I'm keeping good on that promise. So let's skip a bunch of dialogue. Punch, 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 punch. Oh my god, read the thing. Punch, 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 punch. Do you want me to tell you why I'm going through this door? No, people are fighting. We're all going to die. Alright, now we need door 6. Okay, bye. I was going to other doors. We're going downstairs with our good buddy Ace and our girlfriend June and Santa, who will tell us in this room the story of how there are 2 Santas in all of us. How one of them likes to play mean-spirited pranks on people, and the other one likes to give toys to children and commit murder. Which is canon, somehow. Has anyone ever actually heard of any Santa-related mythology similar to that in any culture? It feels completely fabricated for this game, but it strikes me as plausible that somewhere in the world there's something like that. Also, seek way out. It's fine, don't worry about it. 'Cause we already did. Chart. Other than Santa and Krampus. I mean, Santa and Krampus isn't really the same thing, though, is it? Like, was Krampus ever human? Like, I'll admit that I don't know, like, a ton about, like, whatever the actual lore to Krampus is. But, like, isn't Krampus just sort of like a monsterly antithesis to Santa? I mean, there's more to it. There is some cultural element. But I don't... To my knowledge, it's not that there, like, is a Santa and an anti-Santa. Nor is it the case that, like... Did Santa stab Krampus to death? Like, how does that math check out? Yeah, Violent Night is probably going to be a really good movie. Probably. It might be trash, but even if it is, it's probably going to be good trash. And I'll be honest with you, I genuinely feel as though the world is short on good trash media. Lately, all of the media either seems to be, like, absolute, like, top shelf good, or is just, like, heinously poorly made and ill-conceived and just, like, unsatisfying and disappointing. Yeah, like, at worst case, it's almost definitely going to be a cult classic. I agree with you, Demolition. Let's skip ahead. I think all I need to do is, like, have completed the 2 escapes. So let's leave no one behind. We're not going to skip here because I don't, off the top of my head, know exactly what the branch looks like.
Look, it's...
Yeah, honestly, I feel like the issues with, like, the Disney corporate shows are a little more complicated than some people want to give them credit for. But regardless, there's, like, none people who look at the stuff that they're putting out on Disney Plus and are like, yes, all of this is good, and not just, like, corporate direction to the grave. Hey, Angel. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well.
7 and Lotus.
We've got a problem.
Clover is gone.
What? What do you mean, gone?
When?
Why?
You 2 went
How?
into door 1
What?
with Clover, didn't you?
Yeah, we went through the door together.
I want to hear this story again, because it sounds ridiculous.
But Clover barely spoke to us.
She just did her own thing the whole time.
Did you try giving her a bookmark? In a past life, it saved me from getting axed to death.
There were 4 rooms on the other side of door 1.
She wouldn't let us into the 4th room.
She just said, I'll take care of this one.
And shut the door.
She must have blocked it with something on the other side.
We waited for a while, but Clover didn't come out.
We called for her, but she didn't answer.
So I kicked down the door and we went into the room.
But
It was empty.
Clover wasn't there.
There was a door on the other wall.
And it was open.
We figure she opened the door and left by herself.
We ran after her, of course, but
It would be much funnier to me if like that was all the information they had, and it seems like there's a very straightforward conclusion to draw from that, which they basically state outright. But it would be like really funny if they were like, so we like kicked open the door, and there was like a door on the other wall that was open. We assume that a Wendigo came in and kidnapped her, and we need to find that Wendigo and save her from it.
Well, obviously we didn't find her. You figured that much out.
Clover's gone.
When did
You know,
this happen?
Occam's razor, or like Wendigo's razor.
We got here just before you.
You certainly have excellent timing.
So you haven't searched anywhere other than near the staircase?
No, I mean, it just sounded like a lot of effort to like find her or whatever.
No, we haven't.
Very well then. We'd best separate and look for Clover.
But what about the children? Shouldn't we stay together for the children, Ace?
We haven't much time left. Let's begin.
Yeah. She's not here.
No, she isn't.
There's no sign of her. Let's go.
Someone's gotta oil those doors, man.
All right. I'm thinking we should probably split up.
But what about the children, Junpei?
I'll head back to the stairs and take the elevator down to E deck. June, you can take the stairs up to B deck.
All right, that sounds good.
That way you don't have to worry about getting wet down there.
But,
What?
could you stop calling me by that code name when we're alone?
Huh? Sure, right. I'll do that.
I'll definitely do that, sure.
Jumpy.
I always forget about this song. And every time it comes on, I'm like, oh, nice.
No, it's nothing.
All right, I'm going then.
Yeah, be careful, Kane.
You be careful too, Jumpy.
Yeah, got it. Take care.
It's so cute that they have nicknames for each other. It's very cute, and then they kiss. I'm such an idiot. Why does anyone watch this stream? Gotta press that big triangular button. I really don't know who goofed up on that, but there's no triangular button and they mention it so many times. By which I mean like 2 or 3, but you replay the game. Tragedy always strikes when one least expects it. Can I, Yeah, check the flowchart super quick. What is the... What do I need to do different, huh? I thought that was all I needed to do. Let's see. Maybe the conversations are different and I just need to, like, go through them? Is that a thing? I mean... I know how to zoom out. No, give me the... Give me a flowchart. So I got kicked onto knife end. So what do I need to do to change it? I mean, the last thing that it says is locked is here, so I guess we might replay some engine room. Handle? I don't ever remember seeing this on one of the shortcut guides that are like, how do you get the ends? And I don't remember specific things other than the path for this. But it might just be that it assumes that you will have to play through it because the flowchart's like a new thing and that circumvents it. Well, that's kind of you to say, Demolition. Doesn't answer my question though. I'm just being hard on myself. Don't fall for that. Handle?
I believe the box has reached the floor.
Yeah.
Stuck his head out over the catwalk and looked down. And then he did a little turn on the catwalk. The box that had only recently hung just below the catwalk now sat on the floor. Came to rest near the end of the tunnel that covered the
June's
conveyor
down
belt.
over by there.
Junpei could see her, still leaning against the wall as if she barely had the strength to sit up. Even from so far away, it wasn't difficult to see that she had not improved. He almost thought he could see heat rising from her
She
body.
doesn't seem to be improving.
That's what my internal monologue just said. Ace's expression was inscrutable, but he'd said what they were all thinking.
She's not gonna just get better right away, you know?
It'll take time. He tried desperately to convince himself that what he said was
true. What could be causing
true.
this, I wonder? Illness, perhaps?
Nah, it's gotta be exhaustion.
I think it's food poisoning. Or like Montezuma's revenge. Maybe we're off the coast of Mexico. Does that work? Santa's response was
She gets
confident and
dropped
certain.
into some weird-ass ship, forced to play some messed-up game. If you think about it, it's a lot weirder that we aren't freaking out just like her, you know?
So you're saying we're abnormal?
Yeah. We're just running around this room, solving all these puzzles like it's just business as usual. How the hell could you call that normal? We're just guinea pigs.
Santa snorted in disgust.
A guinea pig? You mean like a lab rat?
You mean like a stool pigeon?
You mean we're being used for some sort of experiment? Is that what you're saying?
Dunno. But it does seem like a possibility, you know?
Are you saying that I'm some sort of clown here for your amusement, Santa? I stood there for a few more minutes, no one speaking until Santa turned and walked away from the winch. Junpei and Ace followed him.
You know, speaking of experiments,
Santa suddenly stopped.
there was this experiment some scientists did with rats.
Oh! Yeah, we never did get this conversation. So you must only get this conversation if you do the correct door path. And the only way to, like... Yeah, so I got goofed by, like, trying to skip ahead with the flowchart. This is the correct path, and if you go through it normally, you will get there. I guess. I forgot about this. Well, and I opened the log by going to adjust my seating.
First, they took a squarish C-shaped tank and filled it with enough water that the rats could drown in it.
That's like a super normal way to start.
The tank has 2 exits. Just to make it easy, we'll call one A and the other B.
Oh man, this has to be part of the Uchikoshi drinking game. Just to simplify things, we'll call one of the things A and the other B.
Exit A is pitch black, so dark even a rat can't see anything. But exit B is electrified, which means the rat can't leave through it. So, what would a rat do if it was put in this situation?
I mean, probably not go in the dark, even though it's a rat.
Which exit would the rat choose?
There was a moment of silence after Santa posed the question that I guess wasn't hypothetical.
B, of course. The rat has no way of knowing that exit B is electrified.
Exactly. The rat goes to exit B. Of course, like I said, it's electrified, which means the rat can't get out that way. So, after a lot of trial and error...
Just a little Vasco interlude here again. Just want to point out that we have this conversation like moments after taking a look at our friend June, who's like literally like burning to death right now from like unknown cause. And we still have time for like an Uchikoshi conversation. This is quite reminiscent of being stuck in the freezer and talking about Ice 9 while we're not certain if we'll literally survive.
The rat finally finds exit A.
I can't say that's very interesting or relevant. It's simply the story of a laboratory experiment.
I like that Ace doesn't sugarcoat it. I can't say that's very interesting or relevant. Ahoy, Haggis, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? We're gonna try and get as many endings as we can today. That's what we're doing. Will we end the game? Unclear.
You're right. It isn't very interesting. Yet.
Ooh!
See, these scientists repeated this experiment over and over, using hundreds of different rats over several generations.
Frankly, the results didn't change much over time, but they just had a surplus of rats, and they didn't have a better way of getting rid of them.
This produced some surprising results. With each generation, the rats took less time to find the correct exit. Eventually, a rat was put in the tank who instantly chose exit A without even attempting to go to exit B. But that wasn't the most impressive part.
The most impressive part is that it learned calculus in the
The
process.
same experiment was conducted in another laboratory, far from the original one, with the same results. No, on second thought, the results weren't really the same. The rats in this second experiment began the trials with significantly faster times than the first rats in the initial one. These rats weren't related to the others and had never even come in contact with them. And yet, they all easily found their way to exit A as though they already knew. What did it mean?
Are you suggesting something like telepathy? They were passing information to one another through some undetectable medium?
There's something funny about him saying this, because, like, this sounds as though he was part of the earlier conversations about the morphogenetic field with, like, Lotus and stuff. But, like, this isn't how, like, a normal person would say this. You'd be like, something like telepathy, and then you'd be done asking your question. You wouldn't be like, you know, like, passing knowledge through an unknowable force field. Like, no one would say that. It like, suggests some, like, weird, like, advanced knowledge of this very peculiar thing that he's talking about. What weird experiment are we about today? Today, Haggis, we're learning about rats in a trap. Which is to say, an experiment where rats are supposed to get out of a tank where they will drown if they do nothing. And there's two exits. One that's electrified and is no good. And one that's in pitch darkness that will let them get out of the drowning tank. And how the morphogenetic field over time allowed the rats to basically ignore electricity without suffering the consequences. Ace looked skeptical. Santa snorted at him. That's the second time he snorted in like 4 minutes. I think he's turning into a werepig.
How the hell would I know? I'm not any kind of scientist. I don't know what made him do that. But I do know that story's true. And if you've got another explanation, I'd sure love to hear it.
Like a wizard did it?
Come on, let's get going. There's still a lot here we haven't checked out. And we gotta get the hell out of here before June passes out.
Then maybe we shouldn't stop never mind. Without waiting for a response, he turned around and started walking. Actually, he didn't turn around. He just moonwalked his way back downstairs. Junpei, however, wasn't quite ready to leave the topic alone.
Hey, wait. There's something I want to ask you.
What?
Santa stopped and turned around.
Why did they use that tank for the experiment?
Huh?
Well, I mean, it seems like you could conduct the same experiment without the water. They could have just used a dry box, you know? If they needed to motivate the rats to escape, they could have... I don't know.
A slightly weird question, but apt.
Put some bait by exit B or something. I mean, do they really have to make it so the rats can drown?
Santa gave a grim bark of a laugh. He's definitely turning into something that's not human. Like, he seems incapable at this time of just, like, saying words and having an adult conversation. Like, every time he utters a sound, it has to be reminiscent of an animal.
You know, the word emergency comes from the same root as the word emerge. You ever think about that?
No, no one's ever thought about that.
Huh? Well, an emergency is something urgent, often something dangerous. And to emerge means to sort of come out, or appear, or rise out of something else. So what's going to emerge in an emergency? Inspiration.
Inspiration?
Yeah. Think about it. When the chips are down, either you crack or your mind focuses and pulls up what you need.
Meanwhile, downstairs, June's like, I'm dying. And he's like, yeah, emergency. Is he a high school student? Either like high school or middle school. It's kind of tough to tell sometimes with like anime interpretations of people. I think high school. Maybe college, actually, since like we're supposed to be in college, right? I think Junpei's supposed to be college age.
So in an emergency, your real potential emerges. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. That's why the rats had to drown. They had to be in danger. There had to be an emergency for inspiration to emerge.
Oh.
Junpei suddenly felt cold. The back of his head was aching, as if he was in some sort of tank filled with water. Oh no! His stomach felt strange. Okay, great. I've unlocked that. Now it's right-click to unzoom, and there's some sort of follow-up. There's some sort of follow-up? Wait, which... I don't remember there being an additional conversation to either of these, but I didn't remember the rat thing until we started it. I'll just go in order in case it's... I feel like it's coffin, but I don't want to skip over 9 photos if that's not it.
Now we finally have all 9 picture cards. We just need to insert these cards into the slots at the front of each box.
Junpei stared at the cards in his hand. By the way, if you didn't see this earlier, we're skimming through some of the puzzle rooms to try and get necessary information to get a particular ending. Where we're at right now is there's a point where there's like 9 boxes that require a key card to unlock them, and each one of the boxes is numbered 1 through 9, and then we have photos that match all the people who have numbers assigned to them thanks to the bracelets, and all you have to do is match the face on the card to the correct number, and then you open them and get material to exit the room. These cards feel like a Power Ranger morpher gimmick. Yeah, but like a sort of mid history of Power Rangers 1. Like, not super recent and definitely not super old. Like the Megaforce morphers that like had action figures in them, which was like clearly just a gimmick to sell more action figures.
You know which card goes in which box, yes?
Junpei gave him a look.
Of course I do. It's really obvious. You just match our numbers to the numbers. Then you pop the corresponding card in the right box.
Agus made the same reference, like, shortly after I did, and then says, Vasco, your brain is my brain. It's remarkable how many people say something along those lines to me. Mostly in that I feel all the time like a crazy person who no one would ever understand. Maybe that's the reason people watch the stream, is because, like, you are me. It me!
So for instance, the card with the picture of Ace on it goes into box 1. The card with the picture of Snake on it goes into box 2, and so on.
Oh, I see.
Huh? What is it?
Junpei thought he might have imagined it, but he could have sworn Ace stiffened. It's weird, Lotus isn't even here. Just then, Junpei heard a noise. He spun around just in time to see June collapse in front of the fence.
Hey! June, are you okay?
She did not respond. Junpei spun back around to face Ace.
I'm sorry, I gotta go check on her.
Yeah, I think this is different. I think the first time through, we just, like... It just, like, was implied that we instantaneously solved this puzzle because it's so trivially easy.
You finished the box thing, alright? Just put the cards in the boxes. I'm counting on you.
Oh no, we're counting on him, you guys. He shoved the cards into Ace's hands and ran off toward June.
Are you alright? What happened?
Angelic Dirt says one attracts what they put out, or some Confucian BS like that. Since I've been watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I'd be inclined to say that stand users are attracted to other stand users. Or whatever the exact interpretation of that sentence is. Just to keep those of you who care appraised of the situation, a couple of days ago I finished Diamond is Unbreakable. And I'm like only a couple episodes into Golden Wind. And like so far, I immediately feel like it's the worst one. But we'll see. I'm only a couple episodes in. Junpei called out to June as he ran. As Junpei arrived, June was climbing to her feet with Santa's help.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm fine.
Definitely not on fire.
I just tripped.
Don't give me that. Now is not the time.
But it's true. I tripped over a box.
Just let me see for a sec.
This is a little interesting to me because in, like, the original non-voice acted version, I assumed she would be struggling more to speak at this point. Like, she was doing kind of like a bad job of hiding the fact that she was struggling. But the actual voice read is just sort of like, oh, it was like a momentary lapse. I promise, I'm fine. Junpei put his palm on her forehead.
You're still warm.
Her temperature was much the same as it had been the last time he'd checked. She wasn't hot, like she'd been before. That's rude. Look, we all age, Junpei. You shouldn't hold her to the standards of when she was younger, or whatever. No, that's weird. That doesn't apply. They're both still very young. Her fever wasn't completely gone.
Fall. I think she really did just trip on something, you know?
Junpei would have been more willing to agree if June hadn't needed quite so much help standing up.
To fall down like that? I think she's probably still a little messed up.
June was doing her best to busy herself brushing dust off her dress. It seems more like a tuna... I don't know. Her smile looked a little embarrassed, and her face was a bit flushed. But she did look a great deal better than she had.
Alright, well, let's just get out of here as fast as we can so we can get you to a hospital.
Oh, I don't think it's anything that serious. I just need a little medicine and some sleep, and I'll be fine.
Medicine. Medicine, huh? Well, if we could get in touch with anyone outside, I'll bet Ace could swing that for you easy.
I beg your pardon, Santa? Why do you say that?
Ace? Why?
Huh? Don't you know? He's the president of a pharmaceutical company.
Nani?
Cradle Pharmaceuticals is the name, I think.
Oh. Cradle Pharmaceuticals, you say?
Their flagship product is an anesthetic drug called Soparil.
You know, I've heard that name before. I don't know if you've heard that name before, but I've heard that name before. In fact, Seven mentioned it.
Soparil. Soparil?
Cradle Pharmaceutical, not Soparil. Although you probably have heard Soparil as well.
I've heard of that before somewhere.
They couldn't shake the feeling that he'd heard about Soparil before. Santa
Soparil.
continued.
It's an anesthetic that's a gas at room temperature. A lot like how nitrous oxide is. It takes only a few seconds to spread, and even a small amount is very effective. A bunch of countries quickly accepted it for widespread use within their police and military forces. It was an effective crowd suppressant and room clearer. It was practical, ethical, and the humane nature of it made it the ideal drug. It's been around for about 6 years. They developed it from the extracts of several different roots.
You know, despite the fact that it does sound like it could be used humanely and all of that, there's something very grim about that description, no
It became
doubt.
popular almost as soon as it was made public, with many governments placing large orders. Demand for Soparil skyrocketed, and of course that meant Cradle Pharmaceuticals' stock did too.
Why do you know all of this?
Santa's information was interesting, but was it relevant? Junpei couldn't help but feel it was suspicious. Santa's reply was blunt and
I
simple.
heard it from the old man himself,
From Ace?
by the number 4 door at the central stairway, when we were searching the second class room. Remember how Snake, 7, and you went to door 5? It was back then. I asked him what he did for a living, and he said he ran his own company. After that, we just started talking, and I guess it just came up, you know?
Huh.
Are you worried about something?
No, nothing.
As he spoke, Junpei looked over toward Ace. He seemed to be having a little trouble with those 9
What the
boxes.
hell is he doing?
He turned back to June and Santa.
June, don't push yourself, alright?
Yes.
Yes.
Santa, could you take care of her?
Yes.
I'll go check on Ace. Looks like he's having trouble.
Sure.
Gave them both a short nod, then turned and headed toward Ace.
What are you doing?
Ace's back was to him as Junpei approached. The older man turned around to look at him. His face was pale and covered in
What
sweat.
happened?
Nothing. My vision has gotten rather blurry, I think, because of fatigue. I can't see very well at the moment.
What can't you see well?
These pictures.
Ace held the cards out to Junpei, splayed out in the shape of a fan.
I don't care to admit it, but I may be developing presbyopia.
Presbyopia, huh?
Growing old is a difficult thing.
He made the best attempt he could at a self-deprecating smile, but his face was flushed and his lips were pale and drawn.
At any rate, I'll leave the rest to you. I'm feeling awfully tired, so if you don't mind, I'd like to rest for a bit.
That's not fair, Ace. You can't be counting on me. I was counting on you. That's how this works in Japan, I think. I'm not sure. He shoved the cards into Junpei's hands and walked quickly away, although that sounded like a very slow and measured walking pace. Junpei looked at him quizzically.
Simply looking at cards have tired him out.
Junpei looked down at the cards in his hands. All of the pictures were quite clear, and each person was easily recognizable. Was Ace's vision truly so
But if it
bad?
wasn't, what had made him so uncomfortable?
Is it his attraction to Lotus? That was when Junpei remembered what he'd heard from Lotus much earlier.
Prosopagnosia. Well, put simply, it means a condition where the mind can't distinguish between human faces. In other words, my face would look the same as Clover's or even yours, so they can't remember faces, which is how most people recognize each other. That means that people with prosopagnosia have trouble recognizing even people they're close to.
That sounds bad, man. That sounds sucks.
Maybe he's got prosopagnosia?
Junpei took another look at Ace. He sat at the base of the stairs looking quite depressed.
Well, he looks depressed enough to have it.
I'm not sure that's a symptom of depression. If he really did have prosopagnosia, there was no doubt it was a depressing and painful experience. Still, Junpei didn't feel like patting him on the shoulder and telling him everything would be alright would help that much. Still, Junpei felt perhaps it was best he keep Ace's condition to himself, at least for the time being. That way we don't need to record new dialogue or anything, don't worry about it. Doing his best to clear his mind for the task at hand, he turned back towards the boxes.
Time to solve the 9 boxes puzzle.
9 cards with pictures and 9 boxes. So wait a minute. Now you're saying that there's 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors, and 9 boxes locked with 9 key cards? That's 5 nines. That's either too many or not enough.
Ace's card is in box 1, Snake's is in number 2. I just need to do the same for the rest. And finally, the 9th man's card into box 9.
All 9 box lids popped open at once.
They opened!
He
What
peered
the-
inside. The ocean says not enough or non-enough. I see what you did there, but I'm not quite... I don't... It's maybe? Niche box was a collector pin.
9 pins?
They looked a little like sewing
I
pins, but
guess I'll
much
take 'em
thicker.
with me.
Junpei collected them all quickly and shoved them into his pocket, not realizing that they would jab him through his pant legs. Ow! Okay, that appears to have done the thing. Okay, so let's go back to leave no one behind. And it should be different. I'm gonna be entirely honest with you. I remember broadly what happens. I don't remember, like, what's different exactly. Like, at the start of this. I don't know where it branches differently from the thing we did before. We'll just do it. There's no point in me saying, hey, is everyone ready for me to open the door before clicking it? Which I realize now is what I'm doing. I guess somehow I missed your comment before. You're 1 in a million, which means there's upwards of 7,000 of us. Man, if we could get all 7,000 of us in chat at one time, we could definitely hit partner. They took the elevator up to C deck. Once there, they headed back toward the main hall and the central staircase. It didn't take them long.
7 and Lotus.
They didn't look happy.
We've got a problem.
Clover is gone.
Got a problem. Oh, that burrito isn't sitting well. Also, something scary is happening. It's still burrito related.
What?
The cheap humor of Vasco when he's running on, like, a normal amount of sleep, but definitely feels like 2 hours of sleep. Junpei and his 3 companions looked at one another. He turned back to 7 and Lotus.
Gone.
Santa, Ace, and June had their own questions
When?
to ask.
Why?
You two went into door 1 with Clover, didn't you?
This is interesting. In the other path, this wasn't novel style. These were individual lines of dialogue, weren't they? The sort of thing that literally only could happen in the Nonary Games remaster, but I wonder why that different. 7 and Lotus responded the best they
We went
could.
through the door together.
But Clover barely spoke to us.
She just did her own thing the whole time.
Question. That actually seems weird to me. So did that get... This is completely unimportant, but I'm going to reason this out anyway. So it switched us to novel mode for the purpose of, at the very least, that last conversation had some, like, novel mode stuff. That's, like, a requisite. And so, like, I know that the game automatically toggles to novel mode for scenes like that. But because I jumped straight from that scene, which had defaulted to novel mode, to a new scene, did that mean that it reset the default flag of whatever ADV screen is meant to be short for? And just assumed that I wanted it in novel mode? I don't know if that's an expected behavior.
There were 4 rooms on the other side of door 1.
And in that room, there were 4 lights.
She wouldn't let us into the 4th room.
She just said, I'll take care of this one.
and shut the door.
She must have blocked it with something on the other side.
We waited for a while, but Clover didn't come out.
We called for her, but she didn't answer.
So I kicked down the door and we went into the room.
But
It was empty.
Clover wasn't there,
There was a door on the other wall.
and it was open.
We figure she opened the door and left by herself.
We ran after her, of course, but
We figured it was Old Man Jenkins trying to drive up real estate prices on this sinking ship.
Obviously, we didn't find her. You figured that much out.
Clover's gone.
When did this happen?
We got here just before you.
When did this happen? Like 3 hours ago. I don't know what we've been
We
doing.
certainly have excellent timing.
So you haven't searched anywhere other than near the staircase?
No, we haven't.
Very well then. We'd best separate and look for Clover. We haven't much time left. Let's begin.
Yeah. She's not here.
No, she isn't.
So where are we at on the flowchart? We still haven't transitioned.
All right, just in case, we should go take a look in the shower room.
Ah, that's what's different. Now I want to take a closer look at this. So we didn't take a closer look at the shower room before. I can't actually think of a specific reason why that would happen differently. Which is actually pretty rare for this game. Normally when there's something like that, it's like, oh, of course, on this path, like, etc., etc. But, like, in this particular instance, I'm pretty sure canonically if you go through the 7 or the 8 door, then Clover will insist on going through the number 3 door before you advance the plot beyond this. And then, like, the other characters go looking for the rooms that they have keys to unlock. And then if you go through the number 3 door, like, obviously you get just dumpstered directly into the submarine ending.
Shower room?
That's where her brother is. She might have gone to...
We should check out the shower room. Definitely to find Clover, and not because the two of us are alone. Definitely for Clover-related reasons.
Well, we might as well check, right? Good. We can still get in.
We should thank Seven later.
No luck.
Yeah, I don't think she's here.
Also, this room still smells terrible. Why did we come in
The
here?
smell is horrible. Let's check the back, just to be sure. No, she's not here. Snake.
Can you imagine that scenario where, like, you're looking for her and you're like, God, she could be anywhere. Well, let me just make sure she's not around this corner where her brother exploded into a pile of gore. And then, like, you turn the corner and she's, like, actually there. And it's like, of all the places in the world, why are you here? Why would you do this to yourself?
Just where did your sister go? Ugh, such a horrible way to go. The skull shattered, the left arm's hideously twisted. Huh? Wait, bones.
I haven't seen a lot of episodes. It seems like an alright show, but how is that relevant?
My brother's left arm is, it's not like a normal person's arm.
What's kind of funny about this is I think the first path we took... Oh, that's why this is necessary. It's... Okay, so that's what's different, I guess. It doesn't quite add up, I don't think. So, like, we're able to go back into this room to check it because Seven went through the number 3 door. And he always makes the door, like, passable after completing the room by, like, jamming it open. But, again, I think that's true whether you choose the number 7 or the number 8 door. But if you go through the number 8 door with Lotus, that means that you go with Clover and you have the conversation where she initially tells you that her brother's arm is like a prosthetic arm because of his accident. So, like, we had to go through door number 8 to be aware of this now.
The accident hurt him really bad.
Of course. Of course.
As we all know, snakes do not have arms.
Why didn't I realize it earlier?
Jumpy?
Oh, sorry for making you wait. Let's go.
It's implied that we're walking quite a great distance because it's a zero escape game.
Junpei! June! Where were you guys?
Shower room, don't ask questions.
Did something happen?
Clover is dead.
Well, that escalated dramatically.
I found her in the first-class bathroom.
Angelic Third, how long were you waiting to do that? That was very well timed. I'm impressed. What was that noise?
Clover.
She's missing one of her 3 kill marks.
Why? Why did this happen? Clover. No way. Let's get out of here, June. Are you all right?
Yes, I think so.
You should get some rest. Here, the bed. Can you sit?
Yes.
We're going back to the shower
Who's the
room.
first
Nobody
to
ask
find
any
the body?
questions.
Me.
Why did you come to this room?
To look for Clover. Why else? I found her body in the bathroom. As soon as I did, I ran outside. I got to the top of the stairs by the casino and yelled as loud as I could. Hey, guys! I found her, but it's bad. She's in the bathroom in the first-class cabin. Come quick!
Something, a reference to that
something like
stupid
that.
burrito joke I made.
Then I went back to the bathroom.
It's real bad in the bathroom, you guys. She needs help.
Ace, Santa, and Lotus showed up real soon after that. But I guess you two hadn't heard me or something because you didn't show.
Nice to just slide that in there. A little passive-aggressive, A7.
So I took off down the stairs to look for you. After that, I mean, you know the rest, right?
After that, you followed me up here, and then you saw it, and then you were like, oh my god, Clover, how could this happen? And then you were like, who's the first person who saw the body? And then I said, it was me. And then I explained, oh no, we're looping. We've lapped ourselves.
7. There's one more thing I'm worried about.
What?
You stuck one of those plates in between the door and the frame, right? Why did you do that?
Come on, didn't I already tell you that? I did it so that the door wouldn't lock. So we could come back to this room? Oh. You think I did it?
Well, I don't know. That kind of depends on what you say, doesn't it?
For crying out loud. Follow me.
A closet?
Yeah. This is the reason. This safe. We couldn't open it when we were getting through this room. I figured there might be something pretty important in it. I couldn't stop thinking about it.
Unpleasantly, that's where all the toilet paper is. So they really needed to get in there while that bathroom disaster was happening.
I figured eventually
It's
we
just
might figure
it's
out
just
what
the
numbers
lowest
are for
common
the safe.
denominator of humor today.
And if we did, I didn't want to screw around with door 5 again. So I put the plate in the exit door so we could get back in that way. You get it now?
Yeah. Figured it wouldn't open. Huh? This is... rust. If there's rust here, that means... has someone opened the safe?
Huh?
Maybe there's another clue. Anything that might lead us to discover who stabbed Clover. Behind this door. The ninth man's body is behind there. Maybe I should have another look at it, just in case.
That seems like a really random thing to do. Is your assumption that that exploded man reformed himself like a liquid Terminator and then like came in here and stabbed her and then like went back to dead?
Ugh. Oh, the hell? This smell is...
Man, I'm never gonna use that corpse air freshener at home again.
Oh. Oh.
I mean, it's a pretty evocative line read, but it definitely doesn't sound like herp blurk. Is the vomit a clue?
Wait, it's gone. His bracelet. It's gone. It was right next to the glasses. But why?
Huh? Where'd Junpei go?
I threw up in the hallway.
Oh, there you are. Were you looking for something in the hallway?
Yeah.
Did you find something?
I found the absence of something. Is that evidence?
No, nothing. What's up?
Well, I wanted you to take a look at something.
Is it a photograph?
What is it? Clover.
Still dead, huh? Director says, also Splat should have happened with some of the blurk, but that's a stylistic choice. That's fair.
What was it you wanted to show me?
I searched Clover's body again. A real shame. She was stabbed once in the back, probably by a knife or something. And I found this.
What?
I haven't actually looked at it yet. Didn't want to disturb the crime scene, you know? Basic stuff. Well, I did borrow one thing.
What? I'm opening it. Truth had gone, and truth had gone.
That's like a really, like, weird... Like, does that not bother anyone else? That bothers me. He's like, I don't want to disturb the crime scene at all, so I haven't looked at this note that could be super important. But I did take something. And then Junpei's like, yeah, sure, whatever, Grandpa.
Ah, now truth is asleep in the darkness of the sinister hand.
What is this? Some kind of secret code?
I mean, could it be any clearer by looking at this note what its significance is? I mean, it's almost not worth going over what it means or why it's important, you know, because it's so obvious.
A code.
Sinister hand means... Is it not the minute hand? I mean, this is one of those things that always has me puzzled in games like this, where it's like, is this a thing that if you just said this to a Japanese person, they'd be like, oh, obviously. If I remember correctly, the implication is that, like, historically, left-handed people were treated enough as an other that they would be considered, like, untrustworthy, or something to that effect. Unless the sinister hand is the left hand.
Sinister was a term used in heraldry that meant to the left of the bearer of a coat of arms.
More or less.
The left hand. The left hand. What does the left hand mean? Does the darkness of the sinister hand have something to do with the bracelet?
Jump into a few conclusions here, eh, Junpei?
There's two things sticking out on either side of the face. The left and right sides of the face. Left and right. Left and right. Right and left. Truth is gone. Truth gone.
Truth gone. Pocket watch. Maybe those two words. Not reading it out loud. I feel like we already did that. About switching the sentence around. Not immediately sure why we would do that. I think we want... What else could gone and truth mean?
What else could gone and truth mean? Truth, of course, means something that is correct. Something that's fact. In other words, something that is right.
Just like... an aside. Here's another Vasco aside. Wasn't everyone gathered in this room because of Clover's corpse and all? And now for some reason it's just like us and Seven like trying to solve another escape room puzzle all by ourselves for reasons? Just weird. Welcome, Ditto. Ditto says, my partner's playing in an online Pathfinder game. They're playing Skeleton. On the online thing they're using, their character is represented by a square token. They ask, why am I a square? I don't want to be a square. I jumped from around the corner and yelled, but it's hip to be a square. Bone joke! I mean, that would be my response as well. It is hip to be a square. But I appreciate the bone emphasis. I think that might nah, I guess it's not technically a skull joke. Bone joke is probably appropriate. Because, like, skull joke is almost always like, I'm all ears. But wait, I don't have any ears. Skull joke. It's usually, like, making a reference to, like, a body part that, like, a not skeletal person would have, and then pointing out that he doesn't have it, and then just saying skull joke, even though that's not how jokes work. I did it.
You could then safely assume that gone means left.
I mean, you could arbitrarily assume that. That seems fun.
After all, after someone left, they were gone. But in this case, they clearly refer to their directional homonyms. Then truth equals right. and gone equals left. The left and right of the bracelet. These two things sticking out. So if I...
Press them in the following order. So it's... The truth is gone. The truth is gone. What is the last part? Truth resides in the darkness of the sinister. Is it just right, left, right, left, right, left? Or is it right, left, right, left, left, right? I think it's this one. One, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1.
Wait, did it just...
Yeah, it sure did, Junpei. I don't know if it's gonna make me remember that. Hold on. I'm gonna do this in the most annoying possible way. It's a Nintendo cheat code. It's basically the Konami code, for sure, for sure. Oh my god, Ditto. Goddess of Marrow, Femur, Pachaka Max! Oh, thank you, Haggis. You're doing the Lord's work. Now I'll just let it run. 14383421.
143.
Oh, it's also just like right there, but I'm copying it from chat so I can put it in my document. Please excuse the crudity of the way games work with OBS.
Huh? Hey, what are those numbers?
But if you didn't do that, Haggis, I'd still have to type it. You saved me like 4 keystrokes.
1438341.
In this game, of course, the way everyone does math in this game, like he immediately memorized that entire sequence, like after looking at it twice. Oh, Arcadius, welcome to the stream. You just missed like one of the more needlessly obtuse things in this game. And as a result, we got this number. Numbers are great, aren't they?
143833421.
I'm always saying that to myself. I feel like I should, in fact, memorize this sequence of numbers so that, like, when I'm trying to think, I can just mutter this under my breath and make people think I'm a lot smarter than I am.
143833421. 143833421. 1 to the right, 4 to the left, and...
This is so many digits for, like, a combination lock.
Oh. Bingo. I knew it was for this.
Junpei, get a piece of paper and a pen, boy. The worst is that this game goes way out of its way to establish that everyone has a pen and paper. Like, it's in the materials that are given to all of the participants of the Nonary game at the start of the game. And then, like, multiple times is it referenced that people, like, have a notebook and then they, like, take out paper and they, like, write their choices for, like, the third door on it, like...
Oh, is this some sort of note? Let's see.
Fact number 1. The Nonary game was played once before, 9 years ago. Fact number 2. The person with the number 2 bracelet attended the game 9 years ago. Fact number 3. It was planned by the following 4 people. Cradle Pharmaceuticals CEO, Gentaro Hongo. Cradle Pharmaceuticals Chief of Staff, Nagisa Nijisaki. Cradle Pharmaceuticals R&D Supervisor, Taruki Kubota. Majority shareholder in Cradle Pharmaceuticals, Kajichika Musashidu. I must punish them for the innocent lives they sacrificed. This is the only warning they will receive. That innocent souls might be saved, I now state the truth. 0. Hugs and kisses, Gossip Girl.
Sorry, but do you think you could all come with me?
Oh, now everyone's back in the room. Even though Seven's like the only person who's been talking to us while we're muttering that number under our breath and like opening a safe and like doing weird stuff with our bracelet no one's ever seen before. Everyone's just like hanging out, talking about the big game. And then we come out, we're like, oh, by the way, Gentaro Hongo did it.
Come with you.
I want all of you to go to the big hospital room.
Why?
There's something I want to be sure of.
What do you want to be sure of?
There's something I want to show Lotus, and then I'll show Ace.
I want to know if the person I suspect is really the culprit.
Wait, then you're saying...
It's the second time I've referenced Gossip Girl today. One of my coworkers was like, "Who is this person?" And they asked as though I should know, but it was just like some random name, and I'm like, I don't know. Are they Gossip Girl? Like, why are you even asking me this? I don't know why that happened twice in one day. If I had a nickel for every time I referenced Gossip Girl today, I would have 10 cents. It's not a lot, but it's weird that it happened.
Yeah, I think I've got it figured out. I know who killed Snake and Clover. Anyway, if you could all please move to the big hospital room. I'll explain everything as soon as we get there.
This will explain everything.
It's 5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, let me tell you, Junpei.
We don't have a lot of time left. Let's go. Actually, before we get started, I was hoping you could do something for me. Ace, Seven, and Lotus, could you please place your palms on the red?
Huh?
Why? If we need to get to the shower room, why don't we just...
No, we're not going inside. Once you've authenticated, step away from the door.
Why?
Please, just do it. Or perhaps you don't want to know who killed Snake and Clover.
Fine.
What about you, Ace, Lotus?
Very well.
Sure.
No one's concerned about the fact we have 1 hour until we drown.
This idea. I don't think this device responds to a hand placed on it. It instead reacts to a bracelet being brought close. You don't actually need a hand. I knew it.
Huh?
What was that about?
How should I know?
Thanks. I appreciate your cooperation. By the way, Ace, would you mind if I asked you something?
What is it?
Do you know who I am?
What? What kind of question?
Just answer it, please. Who am I?
You're Junpei, of course. Who else would you be?
Unfortunately, that's the wrong answer. Actually, I'm Santa.
Well, what?
The clothes I'm wearing, I borrowed from Junpei. And the clothes he's wearing are mine. We had a little swap.
That's ridiculous. Impossible.
So, you're saying I'm not Santa?
Of course you aren't.
Why? What makes you so sure I'm not Santa?
If you were Santa, then door 3 wouldn't have opened for us just now.
Got him.
1 plus 7 plus 8 plus 3 equals 19.
There's that absurd quick math we've all grown to know and love.
1 plus 9 would be 10. The digital route would be 1. But the 4 of us just opened door 3. You can't possibly be Santa. Your bracelet number isn't 3.
It's 5, right? You're exactly right. My bracelet number is 5. Sorry, Ace. I tricked you. Of course I'm not really Santa. I'm Junpei. Who could possibly think I was? It's obvious I'm not. To think I was? Ridiculous. But I guess you couldn't see just how obvious it was. I asked you before, didn't I? What makes you so sure I'm not Santa? And you answered. If you were Santa, then door 3 wouldn't have opened for us just now. Most people wouldn't say something like that. The first thing that would come to anyone else's mind wouldn't be the bracelet number. There'd only be one thing they'd say. One sentence. You don't have his face.
I mean, I don't think anyone would phrase it that way, but I think it's the right sentiment for sure.
Ace, you have prosopagnosia, am I right?
Prosopagnosia?
What's that?
No clue.
Prosopagnosia is...
Just let Lotus say it.
Very well. I confess. I have prosopagnosia. I cannot differentiate human faces.
I'm glad he said faces and not something else.
Is that what this was about? You want to mock me for my disorder?
No, not at all. I'm not making fun of you at all. In fact, I feel kind of bad for you. No, the reason I brought this up is that there's an excellent chance the person who killed Snake has prosopagnosia.
What do you mean?
I'll just come right out with it. I think it was you, Ace. You killed him.
Nani? Ditto says, I hope he means his face. Thankfully, he did.
That's ridiculous. What possible evidence do you...
I have 3 pieces of evidence. The first, think back to a few hours ago. You made us argue over the 3 doors here in the big hospital room. There was no way all 7 people could go through them. Lotus suggested that we sacrifice one of us. Then you, Ace, said, I'll stay here. Why would you say something like that? It's pretty simple, really. You didn't want us to see the dead body in the shower room. You see, if Ace stayed behind, there were only 2 doors the rest of us could go through.
Well, unless Junpei acted like a total sociopath and tricked everyone to letting him into door 3, that is also an option. And Shelly Third says, oh, I don't want to make fun of you. I just want to accuse you of murder. Which, like, on the one hand, like, definitely sounds worse, but, like, at least it's not, like, a baseless accusation, as we're now recounting.
Door 7 and 8. There was no way we could get through door 3, the shower room. You knew that, didn't you, Ace?
Because everyone in this game has a degree in trigonometry and advanced calculus.
That's why you volunteered to stay behind.
Come on now. I think that's going a bit far. I can understand if you're jealous of my bravery, but please don't devalue my actions. I only wanted to save the rest of you. Surely you can understand my altruism.
Altruism, huh? You already knew, didn't you? You knew that whichever doors we took, eventually we'd end up back in the big hospital room.
What on earth are you saying? Of course I didn't know that. How could I have?
Really?
Yes.
Oh well, that's cool. I've still got 2 more pieces of evidence that say you're the killer. The second is that, as I said earlier, you have prosopagnosia.
Then you mean to imply that a person who can't distinguish human faces must be a bad person?
Sure.
Junpei, they call that prejudice.
No, I am not that stupid.
Then why?
Well, before I explain, I suppose there's something I should tell you. The corpse in the shower room. It's not Snake's.
What?
I didn't put it together right away, but there was something Clover told me. She said that Snake's left arm was prosthetic. He'd lost his real arm in an accident. But the body we saw in the shower room, let's call him Guy X.
Not like Guy B.
Guy X's left arm was definitely flesh and blood. In other words, Guy X couldn't possibly have been Snake.
Obviously not. He wasn't even hiding under a cardboard box. What a stupid suggestion.
Oh god. No. That's impossible.
Let's say, hypothetically, that the killer didn't have prosopagnosia. If that were the case, he would immediately realize that Guy X wasn't Snake. Even if the clothes were the same as Snake's, their faces would be completely different. It would have been obvious they were different people.
I mean, unless he happened to, like, look a lot like Snake, which, while admittedly very unlikely, I guess is technically possible.
And yet, they still killed him. Why? Why would they kill a stranger who'd only just shown up? On the other hand, if the killer did have prosopagnosia, it makes sense. They thought Guy X was Snake and killed him.
Wait just a moment. Let's say you're right, and I mistook Guy X for Snake. Even if I did, I would have had no motive to kill him. Why would I want to kill Snake?
I can think of at least 2 motives. 1, Snake knew about your past. If he ever revealed what he knew, that would have been really bad for you. You really didn't want that to happen. So to make sure Snake's mouth stayed shut, you killed him. 2, Snake had a grudge against you. You knew that, or at least you could have easily assumed he did. Even without exposing your identity, he was a threat to you. You never knew when you might be attacked. You couldn't ever let your guard down. Every moment was a moment he might try something. You didn't want that kind of danger hanging over you. So you...
Hey, hold on a minute. What's the past that Ace wouldn't want us to know? Why did Snake have a grudge against him?
Look at this.
What's this piece of paper? The nonary game was played once before 9 years ago. The person with the number 2 bracelet attended the game 9 years ago. It was planned by the following 4 people. Cradle Pharmaceuticals CEO Gentaro Hongo.
I said both of those incorrectly because I don't read Japanese good.
What?
It's the message from Zero. It was in the safe in the first class cabin.
Give me a break! That paper is a lie!
That paper is lying to you! I don't know its motives, but I don't believe it for a second!
Someone is trying to frame me!
Me. You said me, right?
Uh-oh. He got again.
Wouldn't that mean you're admitting you're Hongo, the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals?
I meant framing me pal, Gentaro Hongo.
Or am I mistaken?
Very well. I admit that much. I am certainly the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical, Gentaro Hongo. So what if I am? I don't know anything about this nonary game that supposedly took place 9 years ago. Everything on that scrap of paper is bullshit. Someone is trying to set me up, you see? First of all, Junpei, you're claiming I did this all by myself. Think that over, all right? How could I have killed Snake all by myself?
Not Snake. It was Guy X.
I don't care who it was.
I don't care who I murdered. I mean, crap. When I say it like that, it sounds
You
bad.
said the killer put this other man into door 3, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Then I couldn't have possibly done that alone. I couldn't have opened door 3 with only myself and Guy X.
Nope. You could have.
Huh?
Huh?
What?
Actually, Ace, when you were unconscious, I took something from you. Remember when you were injected with that anesthetic and fell asleep in the big hospital room? Yeah, back then, I took this.
Oh, I love this scene. It was a good scene.
No! You couldn't have!
Got him a third time!
Got you, Ace. Your right hand there tells me all I needed to know.
Aggie says, sorry, I like the noises. Did you miss the part where almost every time it happens, I do several iterations of just, like, a responsive noise with no words? Ooh. Oh.
You want to tell me what you were so worried about? What's in your pocket?
I hope it's a banana. I could use the potassium.
It's the number 9 bracelet, isn't it? Ace, Guy X, and the 9th man's bracelet. That was all you needed to open door 3. That's how you killed Guy X all by yourself, Ace. All you needed was the number 9 bracelet in your chest pocket. If you want to play innocent, that's fine by me. Go ahead, tell me. I don't have the bracelet, if that's what you want to do. But if you could take off your coat and hand it to me, I'd really appreciate it.
I feel a little draft coming on.
Otherwise, we'll have to take it from you by force. Right, Seven?
Yeah, it'd be my pleasure.
Oh, we reached the point in the Phoenix Wright case where, like, he can't pretend that he's not the villain anymore. It's good. He must be doing well. I think they call that
Well
the breakdown.
done,
I think there's a
Junpei.
term for that.
As you so correctly deduced, I have
Uh-oh,
the
his
number
eyes got
9
slightly
bracelet.
scarier.
I retrieved it while we were searching for the missing hardware for the Red. I left the room I was supposed to search and headed to the first-class cabin on B-deck. My purpose was to obtain the number 9 bracelet. 9 is a potent ally in the nonary game.
Which I know because I made the first one, idiot.
Adding 9 to any set of numbers won't alter the digital root, as you can see. 9 is a very useful number here. With it, one can go anywhere, with anyone.
I understand the implication of this sentence, but out of context it sounds really funny. It's so incredibly powerful. You could go anywhere, with anyone. You could even go on a date with Lotus to an undisclosed hallway on the sinking Titanic.
It is, I suppose you could say, a game changer. So I made for the first-class cabin to obtain it. In mere moments, I successfully acquired the number 9 bracelet. There was also an unexpected bonus. The knife the 9th man had used. I quickly pocketed both of them and left. I made my way back to where I was expected to be.
That's also relevant information. As you may recall, one of the endings had us being stabbed to death with a knife.
That's when I ran into Snake. Well, this guy X, actually. I spotted him ahead of me. He was heading for the large hospital room and hadn't noticed me. The man wearing Snake's clothes arrived at door 3. When he stopped, I walked up behind him and called out.
Yeah, we're definitely playing a Phoenix Wright game now. Because we presented evidence from the court record and he had a breakdown and now he's like telling us this whole criminal scheme.
Snake. He turned around. He said nothing. His mouth simply hung half open. He seemed dazed somehow, almost like a man half asleep. Perhaps he had been drugged. It wasn't important. I tend to gloss over little things like that. I was certain that man was Snake. I knew Snake had taken part in the nonary game 9 years ago. Being blind, it made sense that he didn't recognize me immediately upon our first meeting. But why then hadn't Snake said anything to me later? Surely he hadn't forgotten what had happened to him in the nonary game. But not once did he attempt to confront me. Did his lack of sight prevent him from fully recognizing who I was? Or perhaps Snake had conspired with Zero to deceive me? Regardless, he was a threat, and it was better to deal with him sooner rather than later. I had to get rid of him before he took action. With quick thinking, my plan went into motion immediately. I held the number 9 bracelet over the red. I waved my own bracelet in front of the red, and then grabbed Snake's arm and shoved his hand against the scanner panel. The door opened. I threw the man through it. 9 seconds later, the door shut. 81 seconds passed.
Then he spilled jam everywhere.
After that, I returned to my post as though nothing had happened.
Luckily, we were all given, like, incredibly far too much time to be searching, like, 5 rooms each. And thus, I was able to do all of that murdering.
After conducting my own search, I returned to the large hospital room when the 1 a.m. bell rang.
Ace, did you kill Clover?
Yes.
Why? Why did you kill her?
She was Snake's sister. It was possible he had told her something dangerous. Additionally, she had gone through door 1. It seemed likely she might have found it.
Found what?
Why don't you go through door 1 yourself? Perhaps it's hidden somewhere.
Yeah, but Lotus and I went through door 1 too.
We didn't see anything suspicious.
Yeah, but did you immediately forget the part where she did something in the room where you can leave from the number 1 door and then, like, pieced out without talking to you?
Yes. I thought as much after I heard your report at the central stairs. I doubt the 2 of you could find it.
Huh?
But perhaps Clover was different. Perhaps she had found it. I was, therefore, desperate to find her. And at last I did, in the first-class cabin. I spoke very calmly. Did you see it?
See what?
Don't act as if you don't understand. You were in the captain's quarters, weren't you?
Uh-huh. What are you talking about?
Very well. By the way, what are you doing here, Clover?
What? Nothing.
There's blood on your shoes. It looks fresh.
Yeah, I just made, like, a blood sandwich. And I spilled some jam.
Did you go take a look at the 9th man's corpse? I see. Your silence suggests that you noticed. You saw something, didn't you? You saw that his bracelet was gone.
No!
You aren't going anywhere. You're staying here.
No!
Don't you run, little girl.
You can tell he's the protagonist because he said, "Don't you run, little girl," and then tried to stab someone. Sorry, I meant antagonist.
That was
because
how I
normal
killed
people
Clover.
don't do stuff like that.
You son of a bitch!
I admit it. I've lost. I have lost. Completely and utterly. Don't misunderstand, Junpei. I didn't lose to you. I lost to Zero. Not you. I'm rather disgusted with myself for falling into such a simple trap. I looked the fool. And it was a trap. Make no mistake. I was trapped and manipulated by Zero. The man I killed in the shower room? If he wasn't Snake, then I have no idea who he was.
By the way, we started this conversation at like 5 a.m. and we only have till 6 to get off the ship. I think we did.
But he was wearing Snake's clothes, and that was no coincidence.
Right, Haggis? Protagonists don't stab girls. They just witness people, like women, throwing themselves off cliffs and things. Like, that's the normal protagonist way. Anime's weird.
He had also been injected with something that reduced his cognition and prevented him from identifying himself or resisting me. And we can't forget the components that were removed from the red before we arrived. I have no doubt that Zero planned all of this.
Yeah, I don't think that we ever really directly address, like, the exact timing of, like, when the red parts got put back in. But it's pretty significant to Ace's attempt to kill Snake/Man X. Because, like, that plan doesn't work at all if the reds are still broken. And there's no mention in his story of, like, I noticed that the reds were working again. He's sort of like, yeah, I tried to throw him through the door and thankfully exploded.
Zero made sure I would kill that man. It follows, of course, that Zero knew everything I would do. That I would try to take the number 9 bracelet. That I would try to kill Snake. Everything.
I must punish them in the name of the moon. For the innocent lives they sacrificed. This is the only warning they will receive. That innocent souls might be saved, I now state the truth. Hugs and kisses, Zero.
I think Zero is one of us.
Huh? Zero is one of us? No. Wait, there's one more person. Snake. The man who died in the shower room isn't Snake. That means he's almost certainly still alive. Maybe Snake is Zero. Maybe he made Guy X wear his clothes so that we'd all think he was dead. Where's Snake now? What if he's off somewhere laughing at us? If he is Zero, he must have been lying to us about everything else. Is he watching us?
I mean, that's kind of a poor choice of words, but your meaning is still taken.
Well, I believe I've finished with my confession. Why don't we
just
get
like
moving?
Usher. But is there a part 2 of his confession?
What the hell is this shit? You aren't going anywhere, you son of a bitch! We're gonna leave your ass here to rot!
Why? Because I killed Clover? That's ridiculous. Why are you so upset that I killed the little bitch?
See, again, it's very clear that this guy is the protagonist of this game. I'm sorry, I misspoke again. The antagonist in this game.
She was nothing to you. A stranger you only met a few hours ago. Am I wrong?
You bastard!
Blindsiding me with a punch, huh? You've got some fire, don't you? I confess, I rather like a tough woman.
Well, maybe you'd like another one then.
Before that, let me give you one of my own.
Huh?
If any of you so much as blink, I won't hesitate to pull this trigger.
Oh no, the consequences of Lotus's actions! Who could have foreseen that antagonizing a confessed murderer might yield poor results? Both of their hair has gone crazy in this moment. Also, we really should have done something about that gun.
I've already killed 3 people. Don't think I'm not ready to make it 4.
Haggis asks, how many guns are on this boat? The answer is 1. The answer is there is 1 gun on this boat. But because we're experiencing fate playing out under different circumstances, that same gun has proven very troublesome in many situations.
3 people? What do you mean?
Very well. Let me take this opportunity to illuminate you.
Thank goodness, it's time for part 2 of his confessions. Just when I thought he said all he could say, this time I don't remember the lyrics. It's troublesome.
The person who killed
This'll turn out well. Yeah, man.
was me. Although I suppose to be more accurate, I encouraged him to get himself killed. While we were examining the main staircase, he came to me and told me his name. I recognized it at once, so I gave him a little push. It seems the settings for the dead were altered. Now it only requires a single person to deactivate the detonator in the bracelet. Investigate what's beyond door 5. We'll meet again later. And with that...
Okay. Have a good one, guys. I'm going off ahead now. Well then.
Why is it stopping? God damn it!
I don't know why you would fall for this. The consequences of that being false, even if you didn't assume that Kentaro was going to lie to you directly, that maybe Zero would mislead you after kidnapping you and bringing you here because he was fine with you being exploded, like, the consequences are a lot worse than just, like, going with it.
You lied! Open the door, please! I'm begging you! Help me! Please get me out of here! Get me out of here! Oh my god, oh my god! There's no time left! Listen! I was lied to! He lied to me! He put me in here! It was him! He killed me! It was him!
The ninth man playing the pronoun game, so that this is a completely unhelpful series of things to say. Ding.
I had 4 reasons for killing him.
Just piling on with the colossal, monumental list of things that, like, reasonable people don't say in these situations. It took longer to die than Will Ferrell in Austin Powers. That's such a good reference, and you're definitely correct. Sensing he was not entirely happy with that situation. Yeah, we got some pretty good evidence over the 6 hours that it took him to die.
As I said before, in the nonary game, the number 9 bracelet is of utmost importance. If I had allowed him to keep such a useful tool, he, or it, would have become a threat to me. As such, I decided that he should be eliminated early on.
There's something really interesting about that. I mean, with the amount that we know, like... So, taking the original instructions of the game at face value, you're led to believe that there's one number 9 door, and as a result, if you follow all the other rules of the nonary game, then, like, there's no way for everyone to go through that one numbered 9 door. But it's... We know at this point that there are 2 number 9 doors, and so there's a way for everyone to get out. But it's interesting that he just, like, naturally assumes that, like, everyone is an enemy to him. Without the game, like, really explicitly stating it, but definitely hinting it.
I wanted the number 9 bracelet. If I could manage to obtain it, I would be able to manipulate the game as I saw fit. I would be unable to acquire the bracelet unless its owner was dead. That's the second reason. Even setting aside his number, he would have been nothing but trouble for me. He was aware of my past. He knew what happened here 9 years ago. It was important that I eliminate him before he was able to disseminate this information. Lastly, I wished to conduct a simple test. A test to see if this nonary game was serious, or a poor attempt at a joke. I needed to be quite sure. As such, I encouraged him to act against the rules so that I might observe the outcome.
I don't get your third motive. What the hell happened 9 years ago?
Didn't I say? The nonary game was played. I planned it out, and I conducted its execution.
Cool.
Why? What on earth was it supposed to do?
You may or may not love this.
I don't really think I have any obligation to tell you that.
Hey, what's with this gun? Where did he get this?
She was very patient in waiting to ask that very reasonable and urgent question. He's like, I don't want to interrupt him. He might get upset. Okay, my turn. Where did the gun come from?
Why don't you tell her, Santa?
On the other side of door 6, we found the gun in the coffin in the cargo room, right? Bastard must have grabbed it when we weren't looking.
Indeed I did. That was a pretty serious mistake, you know. Just saying you intended to leave it behind. Well, there isn't much time left. I'll be off then.
Well, where are you going?
Do I really need to explain? I had assumed it would be obvious. I have the number 9 bracelet. And now I have Lotus.
Everyone do your quick math real quick. 1 ace plus Lotus, 8 equals 9, plus 9 equals 9. Well, digital root 9. Altogether you get 18, and then you add the digits, you get 1 plus 8, and you get 9. So he's trying to get through the number 9 door.
Wasn't there a door with a 9 on it in the room that looked like a church? That's where you're going, isn't it?
And how do you know that?
Artist wanted to draw boobs more? I don't know what you're referring to. We actually, I mean, there's numerical evidence that suggests that we have nothing but the most logical motives in mind.
Santa told me about it while we were looking for Clover.
I see. Well, you are correct. That is my destination. But now I must say goodbye to all of you. Ah, and please, don't forget my warning. Move and I'll pull the trigger. I don't need her alive to open the door, you know.
Shit! He's getting away! But we can't risk it.
Now, Lotus, open the door for me if you would. Goodbye.
Seriously, just oil that door a little bit.
Damn it! Hey, June, what happened? Are you alright?
Seriously, the proportions of this woman are absurd. Either that, or in the Zero Escape universe, men's hands are outrageously large. I mean, just the disparity here is, like, not good. It's not good.
Jesus, you're burning up. Your fever's back. Are you okay?
I'm okay. Really, I'm fine. You should be worrying about Lotus.
But...
Jumpy, don't worry about me. I just need a little rest. I'll be fine. Don't you remember? I just needed to rest a little bit last time.
Blurk.
So please, please save Lotus.
Think about what Ace has already done, Junpei. When he's got what he needs from Lotus, you really think he's just gonna let her walk away?
I mean, he said something about liking strong women. And then there were those motives we recently discussed.
Damn it. You guys go on ahead. Soon as June starts feeling better, we'll follow you. Go! All right. Come on, Seven. We're going after Ace.
Hell yeah!
Santa, you take good care of June. I'm trusting you. Got it. Let's go!
Footstep noises. Singular pant, singular pant, singular pant. I mean, with that many pants, you could just have a normal pair.
Where are they?
I don't see them.
You think they already went through?
Maybe. Let's check the red. Engaged. It's occupied.
Weirdly, they went through the one that seems way less logical to go through.
That means Ace and Lotus went through here.
Yeah, it seems like it.
What do we do now?
Yeah, what should we do? Well, the big door is still vacant, but...
The two of us can't do anything with it.
Yeah, not even counting how our digital route isn't 9.
Knock, knock!
What's that sound?
I said knock, knock, monkey fighter.
It's coming from over there.
I think it must be the wind.
The coffin.
Yeah.
Let's open it.
How?
By force!
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Let's try diplomacy then.
Well, you never know till you try, right? The only necessity for success is the willingness to suffer 1,000 failures.
I don't have time for 1,000 failures. It's already like 5:45 in the morning and we drown at 6.
Who said that?
I forget. Anyway, we've got to try. Damn it!
See? Didn't I tell you? If you could just pull it open, why would it have something like that?
Right. So unless I put in the right passcode, it's not gonna open. Was there some sort of clue somewhere?
Hey, Junpei. I remember you mumbling about some weird numbers over by the bathroom in the first-class cabin. You got those numbers by solving the secret message Clover was holding, right? Truth had gone, or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. What about it?
Well, maybe that number's the passcode for this thing, too.
But it happened to be the passcode to my luggage already. How could it possibly be all those things at once?
Come on, that's impossible. Those numbers were the code to unlock that safe.
Yeah, but the person who set up that safe in this coffin is the same person, right? Zero set up both of these.
Yeah, probably.
Also, there's like a ridiculous number of possible combinations. So you might as well try it.
Well, then they might have set the same passcode for both of them.
That's ridiculous.
Why don't you just try it? I mean, it's not like you'll make things any worse.
It'd just be a waste of time. There's no way they're the same number.
How do you know that? You never know until you try. The only necessity for success is the willingness to suffer 1,000 failures.
There are a lot more than 1,000 possibilities if it is an 8-digit code.
Who said that?
You.
You, 10 seconds ago.
Fine. 1438 3421.
I don't have to remember it. I thought it was going to make me input it. I didn't remember how that works. It's probably not different between the two versions.
What? You gotta be kidding me.
It's Dracula! Or maybe it's Von Karma?
Snake!
Oh, no, it's Snake, and he joined a cult since we last saw him. That's normal.
You? Why?
Ah, those voices. Junpei and Seven, unless I'm mistaken.
I missed you, pal. I'm glad you're alive.
Where are the others? Are they elsewhere? I see. I believe I got the gist of everything. Have I been sufficiently caught up?
Yeah. But that still doesn't explain why you were trapped in here.
We've still got no clue about Zero's true identity, let alone why the hell he's doing all this. Why did he put Guy X in Snake's clothes? Is all this stuff somehow related to that notary game that was played 9 years ago?
Hey, Snake, do you know anything?
What are you talking about? I apologize, but I have no idea what you're saying.
Oh, come on, just tell us if you know.
I don't know what to tell you. How can I know something I don't?
This is bad. We're running out of time.
We need to go after Ace. What do we do now?
The three of us can't make a digital route of 9.
Yeah, we just get 5.
We're stuck here then.
Oh. Hey, I just remembered something.
It's time for that cheating I mentioned earlier.
What?
What is it?
I found something earlier.
What did you find?
This.
Zero. Zero's bracelet.
What did you say? Are you saying that 7 has the number 0 bracelet?
Yeah.
Where did you get that?
Clover gave it to me.
Yeah. She definitely consented to giving it to me while she was definitely 100% still alive. Totally for sure.
She did?
Yeah.
How did she come by it?
Well, she found it. See, on the other side of door 1, A deck, the captain's quarters. She asked me to hold on to it because it was too big and bulky for her to be lugging around.
He's lying. He even told us earlier.
I haven't actually looked at it yet. Didn't want to disturb the crime scene, you know? Basic stuff.
But I did definitely disturb the crime scene by taking this.
Well, I did borrow one thing.
He probably said that so Snake doesn't find out about Clover.
All right, Junpei. Been nice knowing you.
Wait, what?
Come on, man. I'm just kidding. Still, just in case, I want to make sure the 0 bracelet gets picked up by the red. Snake, give me a hand, all right?
Really slow footsteps. Barely a 0 escape.
Huh? Why isn't it opening?
Well, the 3rd asterisk lit up, so it must have registered the 0 bracelet.
Maybe it isn't actually 0.
Huh?
What?
That bracelet may not actually produce the number 0 when scanned. That is what I'm saying. Why don't we try a few different combinations? Perhaps we can determine what number that bracelet actually contains.
We grind the plot to a halt and solve a logic puzzle of sorts.
Oh, got it!
They decided to use the following combination. Oh, let's see here. So... Snake and 7 obviously makes 9. Junpei makes 5. So, you know, that gives us 14, or a digital root of 5. So, if we wanted the number 9 door to open, we would need it to represent 4? If we did all of us, of course.
Let's try all 3 of us and the bracelet. If this combination works, then the number for this bracelet is 4.
It didn't
That's
open.
not it.
Then this bracelet is not 4.
Then...
They decided to use the following combination. Well, yeah, I mean, we're gonna want to be involved, right? Because we're the protagonist and we don't stab women. So... Didn't we determine earlier 5 plus 7 is 12? It gives us digital root of 3? So, if we did that, would be 6?
Let's try
Or the
me,
0 bracelet
7,
would
and the
give
bracelet.
6?
If this combination works, then the number for this bracelet is 6.
Huh.
It opened.
Alright, we have to invent a new math, everyone. It turns out that 0 equals 6.
Yes, so it would seem.
That means the bracelet is actually 6. But how is that possible? The display on the bracelet clearly shows a 0.
Maybe part of the display is broken.
Oh man, that's not good. I guess our time's just about up, huh?
Yeah, remember how I keep mentioning the amount of time that's passing and how we should not be doing all of this?
At any rate, we know now that the door can be opened. Let's go!
But, Snake, are you sure?
Yeah. You know that only Junpei and I can go through this way.
You needn't worry. I have a solution to this problem. My last resort. But if now is not the time for last resorts, then when?
Last?
Resort?
Cut my life into pieces. This is Snake's last resort. Now is the time to drop the beat. It does seem appropriate, Ditto, I agree.
Gotta admit, you really surprised me there, kid. I couldn't figure out how the hell you were gonna get out of that one. How come you didn't do that right off the bat?
As I told you, it was a last resort. Had I used it at the beginning of the game, I would have come under a great deal of suspicion.
True, true.
I imagine that most people would have taken it to mean that I was Zero. Once they'd convinced themselves of that, I wasn't optimistic about my chances of making it out of here alive, let alone unscathed. I felt it best to play my cards close to the chest, as it were.
By the way, we're super zero-scaping right now. Please take a sip of your beverage, because we're zero-scaping very hard with all these footsteps.
That way, if I were in a situation where there was nothing else I could do, I'd have a little trick up my sleeve.
You could call it that.
I'd just take my bracelet off.
My brother's left arm is, it's not like a normal person's arm. It's fake. It's not a real arm.
I know this is kind of a weird thing to say, but I'm glad that's a fake arm.
You don't have to be afraid of the door if you don't got a bracelet.
You are correct.
I think these stairs connect to the bottom deck.
Haggis says Snake doesn't talk how I'd figure he would. Now, I don't recall, Haggis. Are you saying that because you played the game before and imagine him sounding different, or you just don't feel that the voice matches the illustration?
Doesn't look like it's underwater. Let's go through that door. Incinerator?
I'm sure that's good news. Don't worry so much about that. That seems fine.
Oh my. That doesn't sound very pleasant.
No, that's totally cool and normal. Well, hot and normal. Well, like, very hot and maybe abnormal.
Do you see a lever near the gate, perhaps?
Yeah, right over here.
How did you know that?
Oh, that's funny. Ditto says, I think we need a sound redeem of 3 minutes of straight running footstep sounds. Oh, this game provides the resources necessary to generate a file of infinite footsteps running. I don't know how you'd figure out what the limit of that was, but, like, I'm not opposed to the idea of creating a just add some running sounds to the game. Haggis says, the name Snake brings to mind a greaser or a conniving guy. Well, the thing is, Haggis, I don't think you were necessarily around for the start of the game. The only character whose, like, actual name is in use throughout the game is Junpei, because, June sort of tells everyone his name immediately, and then everyone else is like, wait, we should use code names so that no one can use that information against us. So Snake is not his actual name. It's a code name he chose because his bracelet is 2 and it represents Snake Eyes. Although, at some point in preparing for this Let's Play, I found out for the first time that his name is not Snake in the Japanese version. It's... I forget what it is now. It's like some really obscure pun that, like, doesn't make... that, like, isn't common knowledge at all. It's, like, a really weird choice. If someone wants to, they can look it up and remind me exactly what it was, but it was just like, I definitely wouldn't get that. That would mean nothing to me. I think it's like a pun on the Japanese word for 2, but then it, like, relates to some, like, weird celebrity or something. It's, like, very strange.
Well, I'd be happy to regale you with the story. I imagine it should only take half a day or so.
Personally, I prefer Snake for Snake Eyes. It's pretty straightforward.
If you pull it, the door ought to open.
If you pull it, they will come. Wait, no, let's not say that. That same art asset from earlier.
What? Why? Why is there another one?
Look, whoever made this game clearly likes the number 9, alright? Stop freaking out about all the extra 9 doors. They just ran out of ideas, and they're like, everything's a 9!
Warning. Warning. Emergency incineration command.
Now, when you say emergency incineration command, you mean that it has the same root word as emerge?
Has been acknowledged. Automatic incineration will take place in 9 minutes.
Of course, why would it be a number other than 9 minutes?
Please evacuate the incinerator immediately.
Oh my, how exciting. You've run quite a show here, Zero. What's the matter? Too frightened to understand? Here, let me explain.
It's said that the incineration system is about to activate. In 9 minutes, this room will be engulfed in flame.
Who are you?
You don't recognize me? I'm hurt. It's me, Snake.
Snake? Oh, yes.
Snake?
You are alive.
Snake? Snake!
I'm afraid your bizarre style had me confused. I'm quite glad to see that you're alive.
I somehow very much doubt that, considering that you did attempt to kill this man.
If you don't mind my asking, how did you get here?
That's an excellent question. Kronk, how did we get here?
Snake, Junpei 7. The 3 of you couldn't have opened a door with a 9.
Yeah, we cheated in like 2 or 3 different ways to get here. Don't worry about it.
Did you use Clover's bracelet, perhaps?
Oh.
What?
Nani?
Well, your reaction suggests that you did not.
Hold on. Why did you think we'd have Clover's bracelet?
Oh, they haven't told you?
Oh my god, is Ace our father?
Told me what?
Clearly not. Normally, I would take some time and enjoy the moment. But I'm afraid my time is at a premium just now. I'll have to make this quick. Clover.
Don't do it, Ace! Keep your goddamn mouth shut!
Clover.
I said stop it!
I really don't understand. I get that they don't want Snake to be upset, but his sister is dead. So, like, what good is there in, like, hiding that information? Like, what exactly does that do? I think that the intention is that they want him to keep a level head until they've, like, dealt with Ace. But, like, it strikes me as a little odd. Hey, Lex, welcome to the stream. Can't believe your eyes. Why? Have they been blinded by something? Some relevant character asset? That's very distracting at certain times?
Don't listen to him, Snake!
What happened to Clover?
Clover died.
Not that. That's fair.
That's not true. That's
Probably
impossible.
blinded by all that science of the, like, hexadecimal numbers and the digital roots. I mean, it's more math than science, but, you know, it's, like, all interrelated. Anyway, how you doing today?
It's a lie. It has to be a lie.
Oh, it's quite true. I can assure you of that. I killed her myself, you see.
He's doing a great job here. I like that now that he's outed, he's much more casual about being a psycho killer.
What?
I'm sorry, did I stutter? I killed her. I would have rather she died with less suffering. A bullet in her brain, perhaps, would have been ideal. Unfortunately, that would have made quite a bit of noise. Circumstances being what they were, I was forced to settle for the knife. The one the ninth man had, you remember.
I think these details are very important to Snake right now. Is this the last storyline? No. We have more to explore once we get to the end of where we're going.
I believe I caught her just below the shoulder blade. I was rather lucky, in fact. My first thrust went right between her ribs. Her flesh was so soft.
Man, it's hard to know sometimes whether Ace is, like, a hero or a villain, you know? Because he says all these things that are super chill and casual and normal, and definitely doesn't constantly speak like he just savors death.
My knife slid in so easily.
It is somewhat
There
effective.
was no resistance.
I forget how the real end goes. Yeah, I mean, there's, like, I think I've said a couple times more towards the start of streaming this game that, like, I tend to separate playthroughs of this game by enough time that I, like, don't have memorized all of the details, so there's lots of little things. Like, earlier in the stream, I was, like, struggling to hit the goals necessary to get this particular ending, which, spoiler alert, this is called the safe ending. It doesn't seem all that safe right now, but obviously that's a double entendre of an unusual type. But yeah, like there's lots of little things. It's like, oh right, it works this way, and so just sometimes you gotta let it play it out. Most definitely a villain, but like he's all like, oh, I really enjoyed stabbing that little girl. Like that's like a bad guy thing to say. Okay.
That feeling was... I confess, I feel rather excited. It is a powerful memory.
It's a core memory. It's a really upsetting feature of the Inside Out universe from Pixar.
Someday, perhaps. I hope I can feel it again.
Incineration will begin in 7 minutes.
Ah, that took 2 whole minutes.
Kill you.
What?
I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
There's a lot of nuance to this plan. I like it.
Ah, so you're going to kill me.
Ah, so I did hear correctly. You are going to kill...
Please do. Come now. I'm waiting.
Don't do it! Don't listen to him, Snake!
Stop it, kid. He's screwing with your head.
Hey, you know that the two of you could also participate in this scenario. This isn't like Dragon Ball Z where only like 2 people can really contribute.
Is there a problem? What are you waiting for, boy? Don't you want me to send you to join your sister?
Don't! The Snake!
Don't do it!
It'll definitely create a time paradox if you kill Snake. I know this. I've seen it somewhere.
Snake! Snake!
There was supposed to be a third snake before he died.
Lotus! Hurry! This way!
Incineration will begin in 5 minutes.
Give me the woman.
Again, just not super chill or casual dialogue from Ace post-reveal.
I need her. Without her bracelet, I will be unable to open this door.
I don't actually recall if the game establishes how many bullets are in or with the gun in that coffin behind the number 6 door. It would be good information to have at this point.
Quickly now! I don't have time for your shenanigans. I see. Then it would seem I have no choice. The rest of you must die as well. Fortunately, I have 5 bullets left.
Ah, there we go. There it is. Angelic Dirt says, I'd assume 6. See, normally I'd assume 9 because of on account of the hours and the persons and the doors. I don't know, but Ace needs all of them in his skull. I'm not sure that's where he wants to store them, but I think I take your meaning.
1 for Junpei, another for Lotus, and the last 3 for that lump of idiotic man you call 7.
Well, hey, now, there's no need to resort to name-calling, Ace.
I will take Lotus's body with me, and...
Incineration will begin in 4 minutes.
I mean, technically we have inevitability here. If we can make enough chaos and waste enough bullets, then we'll all burn to death together.
Well, it looks as though our time together is at an end. I rather enjoyed playing with you.
Uh-oh, he's breaking the 4th wall. He's become aware of the video game.
Damn it!
Goodbye.
Kill you. What?
Nani?
No, that's impossible.
Listen, man, you already tried to kill Snake once. I don't know why you thought this would go well the second time.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
Stay away from me. Get back. Stop. If you come any closer, I'll... Get away from me. Listen to me. I said, don't come any closer. Shit. You bastard.
That technically counts as footsteps, but since it's only one person, you don't have to drink. And he fired a couple of those bullets he had left.
Incineration will begin in 3 minutes.
This is such a bad room. Why do we have one of these?
You're...
Why did the Titanic have one of these?
I'll kill you. You won't get away.
You son of a bitch. You're a monster.
See, this is one of those situations where it, like, really pays to know your opponent. Like, if you're, like, opposing someone and you're, like, all smug, like, ooh, yeah, I killed your sister. Gross comments about, like, how much I enjoy stabbing little girls. Make sure that the person you're doing that to, isn't gonna, like, become a zombie made entirely of hate that will, claw you to death until you're incinerated by a giant implausible death chamber. Cause, like, this kind of backfired a little bit.
Get off me! Let me go, damn you!
It's implied that he's kicking him.
This is it, Ace. We're going to burn to death together.
Aw, that's nice. Someone recently asked me if I thought that love could bloom even on a battlefield, and after this scene, I think maybe.
What?
Incineration will begin in...
Good, a group activity.
minutes.
Yeah, damn it! Damn you!
Yeah, this is a real trust building exercise for sure, Demolition.
Get off! Let me go, you monster!
Ow.
Okay, look. Think about it this way.
I would love to hear your reasoning. Please, go
My
on.
company owns a wonderful hospital. It has excellent doctors.
They can definitely bring your sister back from the dead, or whatever.
You're not wounded too seriously. I'm sure they can fix you up easily.
It says icebreaker, standing in a fire. Yeah, so is the truth of the Nonary game that is basically like the Love Boat, but like it's following that premise of like the emergency is required for an epiphany, and so like they're trying to like match up the X-Men but also give them their powers or something? Is that what's happening?
You don't have to die. You could be saved. Just let me go.
It says, is Snake a vampire or just bisexual? Or que no los dos? At this point, it's unknown why he was put into these particular clothes. The clothes he was wearing before were taken from him for a specific established purpose. That Zero wanted Ace to think that some other random guy was Snake, so that he would attempt to murder Snake and instead kill that random guy. So, Snake has to be wearing something, and for some reason it's the robes of a vampire cultist. That's just Danganronpa. You know what? You're right. You're kind of right about that. I only know about the first game. That might get more true over time, but that's at least kind of true.
Pathetic. Begging for your life. Snake, that's enough. You can stop now.
Yes! He's right, Snake. You've done enough!
Come on, Snake, let's go. Let's get out of here.
Hey, y'all, do you really think that Snake's gonna make it out of here? I feel like this is Snake's last resort, part 2. Much like Ace got to his confessions, part 2.
You have to come with us. We have to leave together.
I apologize, but I'm afraid I can't do that. You'd best forget about me.
Unfortunately, at this very moment, there are 2 empty seats in hell, and I need to make sure they're both occupied.
I'm going to take him with...
Shut up! Be quiet!
I couldn't save Clover. My sister died because of me. Perhaps this will begin to atone for that.
When you say, do I plan to play the next one, you mean Virtue's Last Reward? Definitely at some point, probably not soon. I might just do it, play these games starting in September for the next 2 years. You know, for the 9 references, for all the 9s. I started this on September 9th, because I think I'm clever, But, like, there's a bunch of other stuff that's, like, on the short list of stuff to be playing. I know other people in chat are really excited for me to play Digimon Survive. And, like, I think Angel was the one who, like, donated money specifically to that cause. So, like, I feel like some impetus to do that right away. Are we at a true end? Let me ask you a serious question, Haggis. Does this seem like the true end of this game?
Perhaps in the afterlife, she can forgive me.
I don't know. I'm not totally committed to the 2 years plan, but there are other things that I want to play, and frankly, I've been having a difficult time gauging how interested people are in these games. And let me just say up front that the second game is like a lot longer than this one. I think the second one is the longest by a decent amount. I forget exactly how long Zero Time Dilemma is. But, like, 999 is definitely the shortest.
Now go. Go now. You have to... go!
Incineration will begin in 1 minute.
Man, we're really just, like, hanging out. Did someone, like, make lemonade or something? We're just, like, really relaxing.
God damn it! We gotta go!
Junpei, what are you doing? You have to get out of here now!
Snake! Snake! Wait! Don't be an idiot, Junpei!
I actually just recently saw someone on the Zero Escape subreddit edit this precise scene to add, like, after the 2 times that Junpei shouts Snake just then in the scene, add the, like, Metal Gear Solid thing, like the 3rd Snake and the like, dying theme song.
No! No! I have to help Snake! 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 Get off of me! Let me go!
Incineration will begin in
Didn't know this game was taking place on Namekian time. Now that's a good joke and a good reference and all that. But in seriousness, this amount could definitely happen in the 9 minutes that the game said it was going to happen in. Now, granted, the whole, like, Snake holding Ace in place long enough for him to burn to death, that probably should have started closer to the 9-minute mark instead of him just, like, holding him indefinitely as though he were a Dragon Ball Z character. That I will grant.
10 seconds.
Just a lot of countdown to this countdown, which I guess is fair because this whole big room is going to just become death.
7.
Man, really, it's tough to get.
I got a choice, kid. Don't blame me for this, all right?
By no means am I like a professional voice actor at all, so don't get it twisted. But like, I have enough experience trying to like do voices for, you know, playthroughs of games and just like casual other stuff that like, it's like really difficult to sell like a dramatic scream like that and not have it feel kind of ridiculous. It's just like good work. Really happy with the voiceover added in the Nonary Games remaster.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Obviously, it has to say 0. I mean, it's the Nonary Games, for goodness sake.
Gates 2 and 3 are locked down, beginning incineration.
He's... Shit! Damn you all! Why? Why? Why me? I don't deserve this! Answer me! Answer me, Zero! Why? Why? Zero! Zero! Zero!
That man did not find a way out.
Hey, wait! Junpei!
Junpei, where are you going?
You stay here. I'll go get Santa and June.
You're gonna bring them here?
How?
Don't worry about that. Just stay here and wait, all right? I saw an elevator on the way here. If I can get it to work, then maybe... Please work.
We have the necessary bracelets for that to work.
June! Santa! Damn it.
I assume that they went back to the first-class cabin to use the bathroom again.
Where did they go?
Sometimes you just gotta poop in luxury, you know? Sometimes it's just really important. It's been a really stressful day on this death boat.
Connie! Connie! No. It can't be. It's impossible.
I mean, like, he necessarily would have had to come through this room before going to look for them elsewhere, right? So, either he completely missed her, which seems absurd, or they came here after he passed this way, which also seems a little weird.
Connie! Connie, are you alright?
Jumpy?
Oh man. Connie, what the hell happened to you? You feel...
Jumpy, I'm sorry. I might not make it.
We're kind of fainted because we all know how she be. I mean, true, we do know how she be. But, like, it's not so much that I question that she, like, fell down. But, like, It seems like he would have passed through this room, and she's like right in the middle of the floor. He was specifically looking for her. It seems like hard to imagine that she was simply like in that spot the whole time and he didn't notice.
No, no way, no way I am going to let you die. I am going to save you, I promise.
Thank you, Jumpy. Thank you so much for everything.
Or even was that other elevator? I guess, I don't know, maybe they're implying that there was an elevator that looked identical to all the other elevators, like behind the number 9 door, and it went ? And that's why he was like, I don't know if the elevator will work. It doesn't really go into like detailed lengths, as I think Lex was hinting at. Why is she dying? Was she stabbed? No, and technically I can't answer that question. There's technically a reason. You may not find it to be a satisfying reason, in classic Uchikoshi style, but there is technically a reason.
I was really happy to see you again, Jumpy. Really happy.
His anime sick girl sickness.
Don't give me that I was crap. You're gonna see me again lots more times.
Because of the real ending? Because of something in the real ending, I think is fair to assume, considering that that's more or less the only thing we have left to do. And even though I'm trying to avoid spoilers for those playing along for the first time, I've made it pretty clear that that's what's happening, is that we're doing this and then we have one ending.
You just gotta hang on, alright, Connie?
Jumpy, did you know?
I really want... She's like, Jumpy, did you know? And then, like, he leans in really close. No, what? And she's like, did you know? Have you heard? Bird is the word. And then she just dies, like, right after saying that. And he's like, that joke's not even funny!
You meant a lot to me when we were kids. I've liked you for a long time, Junpei. A really long time.
For almost as long as it takes someone to die in this game. Ugh. Oh, snap. This reboot. Game over. User wins. Sean. That's a good Sean.
Bitch! Where are you hiding?
Man, that's a really creepy thing to say. I mean, you're already kind of a creepy person, Zero.
What the hell are you talking about? No.
Zero loves saying stuff like that.
I'm not gonna let it end yet.
That's a good Date, no.
I'm gonna get out of here with Connie. Why?
That's a little bit on the nose, Zero. I mean, I know that originally the game didn't have, like, a flowchart, and so it wasn't as obvious, per se, that there, like, were paths with specific outcomes, but that's just, like, a little bit on the nose, perhaps.
The wrong path?
I swear to God. Without question, the worst part of adding voice acting to this game was this horrible voice modulation for Zero. It's so bad. You don't remember this at all? I do actually remember this. It's weird. I think it is, like, literally tacked on to the end of this. Because, like... So... You know... If you think about the other endings of this game, and we can consider everything other than the true end at this point, because this completes the safe ending more or less, which means that the only thing left is, like, the true ending. And so we've even gotten up to the sort of checkpoint, the coffin ending. So, like, literally every other ending in the game either ends with, like, Junpei dying for some reason, or some mystery that requires further attention before you can properly experience it. And so it's clear if that's, like, an ending that you get, you're like, oh, like, clearly there's more of this game to play. Or the other paths are like, oh, like, I'm dead, so clearly the game ended, and then, like, the game's like, you got an ending, would you like to save? And then it, like, shows an icon of that ending, and it at least somewhat implies that there's other things to do. I could certainly imagine that if someone got this ending first by, like, sheer happenstance, that they might think that it's, like, truly the end of the game. If it was just, like, he gets to the end and he's like, it didn't go the way I wanted. Is everyone in this storyline dead except Junpei? I mean, no. Like, Lotus and Seven are explicitly, like, alive in the other room, more or less. Unless they, like, killed each other after we left. But, like, Snake, Ace, and Clover are dead. Snake, Ace, Clover. We know, like, Akane's in this room with us. We don't know where Santa is. We know that we're still alive. And then 7 Lotus. Yeah. That accounts for it. I don't think they could finish the storyline, because aren't there things you have to unlock first to get to this point? No. Unlike some of the other games, the only path in this game that's, like, truly gated is the final, like, true ending. You have to take a reasonably specific path to get to this ending, but all you actually have to do in terms of the story is, like, play through the correct escape rooms in sequence. You can sort of cheat that and finagle that a bit in the Nonary Games Remaster, because you can use the flowchart to just sort of, like, skip to certain plot points it needs you to see before you get there. But, like, there's no actual prerequisite for this ending, which is why... It's specifically the reason why I think they, like, add this, like, commentary from Zero that feels a little out of place. Because, like, the thing I'm supposing is that, like, without this, you might get to this end and be like, and that's how the game ends! Because it seems kind of final enough. You, like, figure out who killed Snake, and, like, he killed a bunch of other people, and he's the villain.
What are you talking about?
That's rude. That's a rude thing to say to me. I did a bunch of good stuff. Did you not see that, like, Columbo montage of me, like, tricking Ace, like, 3 times? I was so smart.
I told you! I am not gonna lose! What?
That's very confusing. What is Zero's motive if he's lost at this point?
Wait here. I'll be right back, I promise. Damn it. Where are you?
It doesn't matter. I need to get Kane out first. Kane!
Have you never seen a TV show, my pal? If you take your eyes off her, she's gonna vanish mysteriously. She got that, like, vanishing waif girl disease that was mentioned earlier.
Oh god. No. No. Where is she? Kane. Kane! Kane!
Dun dun da 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 dun dun dun.
Huh? Wait. This is... white smoke.
Uh-oh, bad end song. That's a pretty wild ending compared to the others, though, right? I mean, I know we were sort of talking about it just a moment ago. But, like, a lot of stuff happens. Shouldn't be more like Deadpan. 2 endings in one night. Yeah, I think we will actually have to expand this to next week. I didn't remember there being quite as much to the revelation about Ace. It took longer than I expected. I have been stretching a little bit for time. You probably noticed. But there's enough in the true ending that I think it'll take at least, like, 2 hours from here. Possibly, like, full stream, but, like, close to it, I think. But yeah, I mean, like, we determined who killed Snake. We figured out that Ace is super bad and doesn't recognize people's faces. We went through a number 9 door. We found that it's a very bad big incinerator room. We learned that the gun has 6 bullets. and that its special ability is to shoot the bullets very fast. We learned who was inside the coffin. It was Vampire Snake, and he decided to drag Ace to go meet Clover in the afterlife. And then, like, Zero had a personal chat with us and let us know that we didn't lose. He lost. Which is interesting. The end.
Or is it?
Chance of loss is not 0 is the achievement you get for the safe ending. Seek a way out. Is this any different from the eye catch? I think this is just like the title screen thing. Oh yeah, like there's actually still like quite a lot to do in the last 10. I think that'll take most of next Friday's stream. I thought if I went to 10 tonight, I might be able to get it done, but I don't think that is. I'm quite certain that's not true at this point. So yeah, it hasn't saved the safe yet. Would you like to save the info you obtained during this playthrough? Yeah, let's save over new slot for purposes of maybe capturing stuff later. So now, as you can see from our checklist here, just missing one ending on the very left. And now you can see that the lock over here, again, the flowchart is new to this remaster, so none of this would have been in the original. You'd either have to try stuff over and over, or look it up, or get lucky. But now, the way this will work is if we reset all of the flags of talking about Ice 9 in the freezer, and talking about all ice with 7, and then giving Clover the bookmark, and then choosing the number 1 door and telling her about Snake's bones. If we do all of that stuff that led us up to the coffin ending before, we should be able to... it won't let me go to here, right? Yeah, it will not. So, just to make my life a little bit easier in the future, let me move this to... Oh god, the flowchart's a little janky, huh? Give me the menu.
I thought we were finished with that topic.
Oh man, I thought you were dead. So rude. So rude of this guy. So I think I'll actually like go through the flagging process really quick at the start of next week's stream, just to reiterate all of that, and we'll maybe summarize the plot points as we go along, but we're not going to watch those scenes in full like we did last week. The reason I spent some extra time on that was to like build up to that, to the coffin ending, and like not have to redo it later. Sure, let's return to the title screen, that's fine. Gotta start from the beginning technically with the true ending. Do you know that to be true for the remaster? I'm pretty sure that's not true for the remaster because of the flowchart. I just have to... The way the flowchart works, which is admittedly a little janky just because of the way the endings work in this game, I think I've done enough with it now to have confirmed this. I think you basically just have to flag the game to think you've made the necessary choices. So, like, for the true ending, you need to go through door 4, and then 7, and then 1, and you have to have those plot-critical conversations. And also, you need a save file that has the flag that you've gone through the coffin ending. Or not the coffin ending, the safe ending. Because otherwise, you get the coffin ending. So, to readdress Demolition's question from a couple weeks ago... Yes, there is no way... Oh, that is the eye catch. It's the same one. Let me just open up... It's a binary game. I love this song. So yeah, Demolition had asked previously if there was any way in a single playthrough to complete the game. If specifically at one point he was like, is there like knowledge you can have from other playthroughs where you just like, for example, like in theory... Like, could you just know that number, the 143834221, and then, like, input that? But no, the game requires you to have a save file that records the fact that you've gone through the safe ending before you can play through the final ending. And, you know, it's easy enough to say that that's just sort of like a cheap way to prevent there from being a single playthrough of the game, but I'll give you this tease. It's motivating. It's not simply a device to, like, make the game longer. There's, like, a specific reason for that. Actually, why don't we... I mean, I saved and all that stuff. I'm gonna close this down so it doesn't do the thing. So yeah, we'll take a minute here if anyone has any questions about anything we've done so far. I know it's a little tricky to keep track of the cause and effect of everything, particularly because of the way this game is set up. I think Virtue's Last Reward does a better job of that sort of thing. Zero Time Dilemma, by certain elements of its nature, not, like, really better. Some choices were made as to how exactly that game would happen. That does not make it easier to track cause and effect, which is one of my bigger criticisms of the game in and of itself. But yeah, obviously I'm having a ton of fun with this. It seems like some people are still having fun with this. We got some Halloween stuff to do. I'm gonna have to check the poll I put on the Discord after the stream, but I'm pretty sure the way things are gonna work is that we're gonna pick up with I don't know. I suppose so. Tomorrow, we're set to finish the first the Dark Side Detective, which is a game we've been playing on Saturdays. It's a retro-style point-and-click adventure game. It's a lot of fun, other than the Christmas-themed case, which was surprisingly very frustrating. But, like, we've got one case left that's supposed to be on the longer side, but it shouldn't take the whole stream. But with the information that we have now, I don't know. I don't know if maybe it just makes more sense to, like, play a case or two from the sequel to The Dark Side Detective and then go into the game that's, like, leading in the Halloween lead-up poll, which at last check was Little Misfortune, in a really surprising upset because no one seemed to care about it when it was first on the poll, and now it's, like, dominating. Unless that changed dramatically since the last time I checked. I'll have to work out those details between now and tomorrow, and of course I have an abundance of time to do that, and I'm not screaming on the inside. But yeah, I mean, I'm certainly interested in completing the Zero Escape games. It's been a long time goal of the channel, and I wanted to achieve a certain level of technical prowess with how good the stream is. And, you know, I would say that at this point, we've abandoned that and are just playing the game. No, I'm joking. I give myself a hard time about everything because of my general lack of self-esteem. But I feel pretty good for the most part about a lot of the adjustments I've made to the stream. I don't know how much other people care about them, but it's something that's been important to me, and I've put a lot of work into it over the last few years in particular, getting the new microphone and trying to set it up better and adding new features like sound effects and things like that. And I don't know. It's something I like, so I feel like it is appropriate to put in the effort to add it to the stream. And I wanted to have something that I was proud of before I started playing the Zero Escape games because they're so important to me. But, you know, I don't know how people feel about the games. I think people are liking this. It's tough to tell. I think people get invested in the story because it is a pretty interesting story. And it's somewhat effective. But, like, we'll talk about future plans. I mean, I've reiterated multiple times, like, what I think I'm doing after Halloween, and it just keeps changing, so I, like, really don't know. Like, I do want to revisit a game that we put on hold earlier this year, which was Murder by Numbers, and to a lesser extent, Lamplight City, two games that we started earlier this year that we haven't finished, that I would like to finish. There's also Digimon Survive, which is something a lot of people have expressed interest in and is definitely in the wheelhouse of this channel. It sounds like that's going to be a long one. I don't know about that. Yeah, I will sort out some variation of something that makes sense for the next 2 weeks. It's starting to come together, especially it helps to know that we got some more we got another stream before we finished 999. That was a question mark I wasn't totally sure of, not having played this particular ending in a while, and it was longer than I remembered it being. Yeah, so basically that's a really long-winded way of saying, like, I promise, like, the scheduling decisions will make sense. Please keep watching my streams. We do have, I'm very excited for the Halloween stream, which is weird because I don't specifically yet know what game it will be. But I have a costume that I made like 90% myself and like 10% with some extremely valued help from my mom, because she's good at these things, is very talented. And it's the most excited I've been about a Halloween costume since I was like 6 or something. So I do encourage you to watch. My Halloween stream will not be on Halloween itself, but will be a bonus stream on next Sunday, which is October 30th at, should be 3 p.m. Pacific, because it's a work night. We're gonna do earlier. We're gonna do early time slot because otherwise I will die from the brain plague. So I do encourage you to join for that. I don't know what game it will be, unlike last year where I knew exactly what it was going to be. It might be Little Misfortune. I think there's a chance that it could be, what's the name of that thing? I don't remember now. The game I put on the poll that's described by its developers as Winnie the Pooh meets Stranger Things. It's supposed to be a pretty short game. People didn't seem super excited about that when I first put it on there, but like that's also gained some steam. But basically, spooky things will happen. Halloween will happen. I'm gonna be really excited about that costume, and everyone's gonna get here and have feelings. I don't know if they'll be good or not. But be here tomorrow. We'll do some stuff. Be here next Friday. We'll finish this game. Be here next Saturday and Sunday. Some other thing will happen. Beacon Pines. That's the one. That's the one. So I've spent a lot of time talking to make it feel like the stream isn't short, I guess. I don't know. I'm feeling neurotic now. We got ourselves the safe ending. We learned a lot of things as I recounted. We'll go over stuff as we complete the game next week. But that still leaves us with one final thing before we finish this stream, and that is to find the secret Squirtle, because somewhere behind me on this couch I have hidden a Squirtle. Obviously, if you can see, if he's right here like this guy, that's not a secret Squirtle. That's a Squirtle in plain sight. So I encourage you to consider where I might have hidden a Squirtle and, you know, take a guess, because it is well documented that if you locate a secret Squirtle, it's an omen of good luck for you in the week to come. And with Halloween and all the spooky stuff happening, that seems particularly valuable. So I'm going to drink some of this 100% juice apple while you think about that and write your answers in chat. So we can go look at some stuffed animals in a minute, because I'm an adult. Oh man, I'm deafened by the fact that I stopped talking for 32 seconds. Ooh, we got some interesting guesses, not the most common ones. By Squidbeard and Drifloon up top, Brown Bear, Lorenzo. Lorenzo's our big... Oh, hang on. Perspective's difficult. Lorenzo's our big lobster friend hiding by our even bigger narwhal friend. Why is direction so hard for me today? God. Brought your stuffed animals to school like an adult? That's very fun. Was that like a show and tell day, Sarah, or were you just showing off? Or was it like, do you have like enough Halloween themed ones that you were like decorating the classroom? Yeah, Beacon Pines is a game that I'm definitely interested in. I don't know if the premise carries for a whole game, but since it's short, it seems plausible. But like the trailer I saw was like really interesting. Like it uses this mechanic. The Winnie the Pooh aspect is that like the whole thing seems to be like narrated and plays out as though it's like written in like a children's book, but then like some of the gameplay stuff is that like you alter what's written in the book to change the story. It's sort of like a, because like Winnie the Pooh as written like has weird like characters interacting with text type stuff. Got a new Day of the Dead set. Ooh, That's exciting. I saw at the grocery store, which is like the only place around here that like locally has the Squishmallows. They had like a reversible like gravestone and coffin guy, which was weird. I hadn't seen that one before. Anyway, let's go find that squirrel. Let me get all these guesses again. See, a couple guesses for Brown Bear, who is named Brown Bear. That's just his whole thing. Lorenzo, Squidbeard. I think that's all of them. Feel free to guess before you see him. Give it a shot. Aw, standing up is so hard. Who invented knees, huh? Who's that for? Alright. Here's my buddy Lorenzo. This big lobster. Look at how big he is. So, like, here's me for scale, and here's this lobster. He's pretty big. He's a big boy. He was, speaking of Winnie the Pooh, he was hanging out over here with Lorenzo. Unfortunately, he's not a Squirtle, but they're both good friends. Look how cute they are together. I love them. These are highly inefficient, honestly. Honestly. Yeah, so Squidbeard, huh? Squidbeard. I picked up Drifloon A because Drifloon was specifically mentioned by the individual who guessed that, and also because Drifloon is very, like, side-heavy and will fall over if, like, a butterfly flaps its wings on the other side of the earth.
darn.
Here's also Squidbeard. My friend got me from this, from, like, a prop warehouse in Atlanta, Georgia. That's a fun fact. Unfortunately, nothing hiding up there today. It can be tricky to hide things with Squidbeard and not make them obvious, so I don't do it every time. Here and try not to knock down everything that I hold dear. A couple guesses behind Brown Bear. Wow, gotta pick up Brown Bear. Look how big Brown Bear is. Here's me again for scale. He's also a pretty big boy. He was hiding Master Yoda, our little what's the Galaxy's Edge friend? It came from Disneyland. He's a good friend. Ditto. So good.
Oh my gosh!
That covers all the guesses I saw, which does leave us with a mystery. Which is to say, where is that secret squirrel? Well, I'll tell you, I hid it somewhere where I didn't think anyone was gonna find it. I would have been really impressed if you did. This time, this extra sneaky little squirtle was hiding behind this spooky Halloween ghost. I figured it would be appropriate, as we're getting closer to Halloween, to try and make that happen. So, thanks to everybody for watching. I do appreciate it. I'm having a lot of fun with this game. I'm glad to see people getting into it. I know it was kind of a slow start, and if you missed the beginning, it's a little tricky to catch up. But I think it's worth it. If you have been enjoying what you've seen, I do really encourage you to like check out the VODs. Maybe skim through last week where I was doing an extremely bad job, but like it's great. I love this game a lot. I obviously mention it all the time, and now maybe you understand why, or maybe you have more questions. But regardless, those questions can only be answered by watching more of my streams, so please do that. I'll be here tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific for some The Dark Side Detective and some other thing of some description. And then we'll be back to finish 999 right in time for Halloween, and then also we've got an extra bonus stream on Sunday for Halloween. That's very exciting. But for now, thanks everybody for watching. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being you, and I hope to see you again soon. If I see you tomorrow, that's great. If not, either way, have like a great time until then. It's been awesome, everyone. Really enjoy sharing this game. It means a lot. Have a good time.